Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. You look really nice today.
Dude, thank you. I dressed up because I knew that this would be our last episode.
For like...
Ever.
Like a week.
Oh, yeah.
Till you come back.
Yeah, I'm going to Disneyland.
Yes,
so
you are.
I'm going to be gone for the week, so we're recording a little bit earlier, so we're going to post a little bit earlier, hopefully.
You're a fan of Disneyland, huh?
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Disneyland fan.
What's your favorite thing about Disneyland?
It.
It?
Yeah, like Disneyland.
Like one thing. I'm saying like a specific
one
ride
thing?
or the food or like a specific like a stuffed caricature or something. You know?
The atmosphere.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, because everyone's like really excited there, and there are a lot of children experiencing it for the first time. You just get to see like pure fucking joy
Or
on their faces.
21-year-old men experience it for the first time.
I mean, yeah. I feel like adults don't have the same level of excitement as kids do.
True. Very true.
So watching these kids be super excited to like go and meet their fucking heroes who are fucking Donald Duck or Mickey and whatnot, I'm like, man, that kid is having the best day of his life. And you're just walking down Main Street and it smells like cookies. And this week's episode is going to be the 2017 anime fall preview.
Fucking what a segue. You beat me to it. Yeah, before we actually get into talking about our stuff, this is one of those long episodes where we get to talk about all the crap we watch. And luckily, I didn't watch as much crap as I wanted to because I'm super busy. But Trip watched a lot of crap, and he's going to tell us all about the crap.
And I had a good ass time doing it.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it because the last few times, I remember I watched a lot of stuff and was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun because I wasn't doing it alone. Kyle, for whatever reason, wanted to join me. So there were a lot of episodes where we were just like checking out. We're like, ugh, this is pretty lame.
Yeah.
And then like scrolling on our phones and we'll be like watching, like, what did I miss? I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so I know it's probably like a far-fetched idea, but because you watch so much anime. But what's good? Did you happen to watch anything else besides this stuff of animes?
Fuck yes, I did.
What'd you watch?
I'm just trying to remember.
I'll just wait here till you remember what you watched.
I can't remember.
Was it a show?
Yeah.
Was there a character involved?
Yes.
Guy or girl?
Yes.
Both?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Was it a loved one? Old one. Oh, was it Rekka 7?
No.
Is it Hunter x Hunter? You decided to start again? Watch it dubbed?
No.
I can't help you. Like, I'm really trying here.
No, I honestly can't remember, and I'm really frustrated.
But you did watch
it.
it.
I'm like, fuck yeah. I was like, time to watch something that isn't the things that I'm watching. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad that was a good story. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And there are more to come.
I actually watched anime over anime I wasn't supposed to watch.
What the fuck,
Dude,
Juan?
you want to hear this? Check it out. So
Okay.
I'm working on my Maya project, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's like I'm in the lab, and I can be there till as late as I want, I guess.
Yeah.
Except the doors get locked at one point, so I have to make
You
sure.
just have to make sure a friend can let you in or something.
There's no one there. I have to make sure I wedge the doors.
Okay, well, what time are we talking? Because you sent snaps with somebody at like 11 at night.
That was the other night. That was Tuesday night. This was Wednesday or whatever. Wednesday I was by myself.
Okay.
So on Wednesday, I go to lunch, I come back. It turns out the outside doors close at 8:30 automatically. So I had to wait. I had to wait for someone to let me in. Like it's like for someone to walk by, let me in. And I had to find the janitor because apparently all the doors locked, and he leaves at 9:10. So after 9:10, I can't get into the lab. So I'm just sitting there. It's like, oh, okay. And I'm pretty caught up with my Maya project. I'm on texturing and then lighting. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of me like scrolling through like stuff online, trying to find like textures I can use.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should like try to watch some of this. Like while I'm doing my work, maybe I should try to watch like anime that I'm supposed to be watching. And then I quickly realized that's impossible because because they're all subbed right now. I had to read them all. I wouldn't be actually working. I'd be focusing on this.
It's a lot of work.
Or I'd be focusing on my work and not looking at the anime. But I was like, maybe by some chance I'll go to Funimation and see if they have anything simuldubbed. And they didn't. They had like one episode of a show that I already saw. It was the Zodiac Wars.
Yeah.
And it was like one episode already dubbed. I was like, cool, I already saw it. No point in watching it again. But I saw that they had all 12 episodes of Saridiri Children dubbed. I was like, oh, okay. So I pop my headphones in and hit play, and I roll through 11 of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're not long.
No, they're like 12 episodes at the most, I think, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And
well,
12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes.
Know, yeah.
And I made it all the way to 11 because every now and then I take a break and like go stretch or something. But
yeah,
it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
It is a good show, yeah.
There were characters that I cared for more than others.
Of course. Who were your favorites?
There's my favorite when I first saw the show a while back was the like the class president and like the
chick who was
the rebellious
smoking?
chick.
Yeah.
But they're still my favorite. I still like them, but not as much as I like other characters.
Yeah, I've seen clips as the show's been going on, and I completely agree. Like as it kept going, I was like, "This isn't as fun."
Yeah,
it's
the
just,
bit isn't. The bit kind of got old.
Yeah.
I like my favorite characters are these two people who are best friends essentially, and the girl confesses her love to him, and he goes like, "I love you too. I've always loved you. Oh, let's date." And it's been a year since then, but she's like, he doesn't hold my hand. We don't kiss. It turns out that these guys are such best friends. They do little bits, like comedy skits. Like he'll go bang, and she goes, "Ah, you got me." They're just a bunch of goofballs. So he's like, "Oh, you really confessed yourself to me?" He's like, I thought it was a bit.
It was a joke.
She's like, she thought they were dating for a year, and he's just like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, what's the point? Well, he's like, no, let's date, let's try it. And they have like the hardest time doing anything right because like they can't take things seriously.
Especially after that period of time.
Or they try to take things too seriously. Like the first time they're hanging out, they're just like, okay, let's kiss. It's like, no, let's have sex. She's like, what? He's like, and it was her. She's like, let's do it. And he's just like, I think we should just try to like work our way. And he's like, no, I'm ready for this. He's like, so like they kind of bully each other into like, okay, fine, we're gonna do this. And then like they're going to kiss, and then the door opens, and his mom walks in, and he goes like, oh, sweetie, I brought you cookies. And he's just like, oh, don't mind me. Puts some
I've seen that clip. That was really
funny. She
funny.
puts the cookies out. She's just like, oh, a little snack for when you're done. And she just comes out, and then she just yells like, don't go upstairs, whatever, something, And then she pops back in again, and she's just like, is everything okay? And they're just like, oh,
fucking
my God.
mom.
Yeah, so I think they were like my favorite couples. There were other couples I really didn't care for, like the couple where it was one girl confessed to a guy, and she kind of teases him, and he has a younger sister that's like all about her brother and has that weird like crush on her older brother.
Nice. We'll talk about that more this episode.
Yeah, so I watched that show. I haven't finished it, just have one more episode to go, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. It was easy to watch.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. Besides that, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into the news?
Yeah, so like I missed you.
You missed me. Sierra's missed me. I miss you, Sierra. Whenever she hears this.
Fuck you, Sierra. What? I missed Juan more.
We saw each other the other day.
And it was a good day. And I missed that.
Oh, you're such an idiot.
Yeah.
So we're bring me one of the, are you driving to
fuck yeah, I'm driving.
Bring one of those big lollipops from
Dude,
Disneyland.
I'll get you the biggest lollipop.
Give me the biggest lollipop you can find.
Wait, you want a long one or you want a round one?
Which one will hold better? I feel like the round one is like has like white break,
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked.
Yeah. I kind of want the round one.
Yeah, but the other one's called a unicorn pop.
All right, let's go with that one.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, but in other news, I went and saw Happy Death Day.
Oh, I'm watching that tomorrow. No
spoilers. You're gonna have a fun time with it.
Really?
It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is I looked at it and I was like, this movie looks fucking dumb.
Looks like trash.
Yeah. And then it's a movie that knows that it looks fucking dumb.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually does a pretty good job.
Okay. Better or worse than the anime of the year? Bye Bye Man.
Way better.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Better than Bye Bye Man?
Yeah, I mean it's no anime of the year, but it's better than Bye Bye Man. Like you'll see it, you'll enjoy it.
We'll talk about that when you get back.
And I saw the new Blade Runner.
Okay, how was that?
It was like a dystopian future kind of Her. Did you ever see Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
That's the one with him and Scarlett Johansson, right? Yeah. So, like it or not?
If it was an hour shorter.
Exactly. I've heard from a lot of people. It's 3 hours long. I heard the pacing's really weird.
It is, and I felt like there was a lot of unnecessary stuff. It looked really cool. Visually, It was stunning.
Oh, I bet.
There was just a lot of unnecessary stuff, and the story didn't, it made sense, but it wasn't a strong story. Like, it wasn't a story I cared about at all. There were a lot of kind of like plot hole type things going on. But I had a good time with it. I just really, really wanted to go home.
I've had a few people talk to me about it. One of my classmates, he said Blade Runner is his second favorite movie. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Holy shit.
I was like, whoa. And he's just like, no, it's like this my his favorite movie, Prisoners, which is a movie I really like. Have you seen Prisoners?
No.
Oh, it's fucking great. It has Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's got Hugh Jackman, and it's got this other weird guy, and this other black guy, and this black girl, and this other girl.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, great. It's a really good movie, by the way. So he's like, yeah, I gotta watch it, blah, blah, blah. And like, this is a guy that we had plans to watch it, and by the time I saw him the next day in school, he's like, I already saw it.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
He loved it. He was like, it's amazing. It's like like one of the best movies I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. I was like, cool. And then I've asked other people, and people were like, it's too long, pacing's off, like, I don't really like the story. And I was like, really? Interesting. So then I asked my instructor, who said she complained about not liking it. I was like, talk to him about it. And they're like, she's like, yeah, the movie was trash. She's like, what? And like, they got like to like this argument.
That's fucking great.
But anyways, I don't know if I'm going to bother watching it. I don't care enough to.
You wouldn't like it that much.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you well enough at this point to be like, you would like a lot of parts of it.
I bet it looks pretty. I bet it looks really pretty.
It looks great.
You know, but I'd have to go back and watch the original Blade Runner to get a refresher.
And I did that, and guess what? It doesn't fucking help at all.
Oh, really?
It's not even like fucking related whatsoever. They're just like, remember these characters?
Here they are.
They had a kid. That was like the only fucking thing.
Whoa.
It's not really a spoiler since the whole movie's like, oh, they could have kids. Anyways, long story short, if you want to go see Blade Runner, do it. But like, I don't think you'll personally enjoy it.
Nah, I'll probably just go watch Happy Death Day instead.
Which is a lot of. I was surprised at how much fun it was, honestly.
Cool. All right, man. Like, let's get into the news.
So, Mob Psycho 100, it's got more anime coming.
Yes. This is from who? Bones.
That's pretty. Yeah, Bones is doing what they do best, and there's also going to be a live action show.
Oh right, super.
Mob Psycho 100 live action.
Yeah, I remember I tagged you in this, and you're just like, no.
Yeah, like, no. No.
And I was just like, no, man. I can just imagine it being as bad as the Ouran High School Host Club, because it's not a live action movie; it's like a live action series, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be trash.
Series have such a difficult time doing any kind of special effects, and Mob Psycho 100 is like all special effects.
So wacky. I can't imagine it not being wacky.
Like some of the best shows out there in terms of special effects are like Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, stuff like that. And they don't have good special effects still. Yeah. Like I look at the fucking dragons in Game of Thrones every once in a while, and I'm like, that doesn't look real at all. Especially like, that's fucking not great.
Especially when she has to write it. It's like, oh, nice. I really started on like green screen.
Yeah. Some of the background stuff looks bad. And that's coming from like the biggest show on HBO. And they have so much fucking money. And like...
And that's like, but you know, it just comes to show it's TV. You know, like TV lends itself to being like, yeah, we know it's not going to have the best, you know, fucking graphics. This isn't the fucking movies. But still, like, I just can't imagine with the $1 million budget, more than $1 million budget for like Game of Thrones. How are these guys going to make this Mob Psycho thing work? Have you seen the trailers for this new thing on Sci-Fi? It's called like Happy.
No,
it's about one of the guys who does like SVU. You know what that is?
Yeah. Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, he also did. He was also in Oz, which was one of my favorite.
Yeah, dude, that's a good HBO show about the prison.
Yeah, so it was one of those guys. He's just like an old detective or whatever, and he's become an alcoholic, and he gets like in an accident, and then he sees like an imaginary unicorn that floats in front of him.
Okay,
I'm like seeing something like that. I can imagine that working those effects working over for Mob Psycho. But I know they're not going to have that. Like it's just not going to work.
Right, exactly, and that's also different too because that's an original story, and they could do whatever the fuck they want. But Mob Psycho 100 is like we know what we are going to see. And they're not going to be able to deliver.
No way. It's a bummer. Oh, well. I can't wait to watch it and just review it because it's going to suck.
Oh, man. It's going to be fun. All right. Next up, Netflix has announced that they'll be spending $8 billion on movies and anime, planning to produce over 30 new anime in 2018.
Whoa. Is $8 billion a lot?
Yeah.
Is that how much? That's about how much we have together, right? Net worth?
No.
What?
We only have $6 billion, idiot.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, that's ballsy. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, they're fucking spending a lot, and I appreciate that. They've been going out and doing some pretty unsuccessful shows here and there, unsuccessful movies, yeah. And they might have some fucking gems, and they might learn what to do with anime and what to do with certain movies, because I feel like now they're in this area of experimenting. And, like, I don't know if you've been keeping up with South Park at all.
No, I haven't.
All right, so... the new South Park game has come out.
Oh, actually, I bought that. I should go pick it up. Yeah, so I bought it for Matt because as a Christmas present. Because I thought it was coming out, and they're like, "No, you just could pre-order." It's like, "Cool, pre-order it." And I was just like, when it comes out, he'll just pick it up. And it got delayed. You know, the game got delayed or whatever.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
So I got a call from them like yesterday, like, "Hey, man, by the way, the game drops at midnight. Come through. You got your special orders." Like, cool, I'll pick it up some other day or whatever.
Yeah.
Matt sold his Xbox, so like I have
Awesome.
I own a copy of the Fractured Butthole for the fucking Xbox One, but I don't have an Xbox One to play it.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of a
I know
bummer.
that Kyle does, so maybe you could give it to him for a gift or something like that.
That belongs to Matt, sir.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Matt fucked up big time.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'll just keep it. Maybe I'll just hold on. Maybe I'll.
hey, whatever, man. It's fine. Anyways, going along with that, since that game just came out and it's a very highly anticipated game for the gameplay, for the jokes and like all the shit. They made an episode recently that is, it's about Kun and friends, the whole like squad, and they're kind of talking about like how they're going to do their TV and movies and whatnot. And it has it in the background, like all the fucking things. They're like, this is the origin story. They're doing this. And then we'll get our Netflix series for this and talking about all that. And they're calling Netflix about it. And they're like, Netflix, you're greenlit. And I just thought that was like really fucking perfect for the time that it is, where like there are a lot of experimental things coming out on Netflix, which I really appreciate. I really like that there's a lot of stuff. Like I watched Big Mouth and I fucking hated it.
Right?
It was fucking awful.
Did you watch all of it?
I watched the first episode and I was like, I know that this might get better, but it's not worth it to me because I didn't think any part of the first episode was like, it's crass. It's not funny to me. It's just crass.
It is really. I told you about this. Like, that's like it's a weird. I don't know.
It was bizarre.
Like I don't know how I liked it. Like it was interesting to watch. It was very crass. Some of the animation I liked. There were really good songs in it. The voice acting was fine because I know all the voice actors.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was like, is this good? Is this okay? I don't know. I remember like it's not for everybody. Yeah, and I totally get like, I was like, you have to check it out just to see. You have to see.
I needed
you
to see it.
have
And
to
plus,
see this.
dude.
Yeah.
I fucking love John Mulaney. He's one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
And Nick Kroll has been in a lot of things that I like. But then we had a discussion after we watched it, and we're like, I don't think that I like Nick Kroll.
Yeah.
I think he's like not a funny person.
I don't like Nick Kroll. I hated his show. The Kroll show was fucking garbage.
I never watched it.
So bad.
Yeah.
But I do like John Mulaney now. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, John Mulaney is fucking great. But then you find out that John Mulaney's in the show.
Yeah, he's like one of the voice actors.
Yeah, and he wasn't the one who wrote and produced and like got it all taken care of. Yeah. And I was like, that fucking sucks. I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, it's all good. No, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad Netflix is, putting themselves out there to be willing to make 30 new anime, properties or whatever. What do you think? Out of 30, how many of them do you think they're going to be like great?
I'm sure that there's like maybe 1 in 10.
1 in 10? So
which
like
is
three
like
really
decent,
good ones.
yeah.
Like 3 really good ones. I'm going to say 3 really good ones and like maybe like 10 okay ones.
Yeah, I think that they've learned that the 7 Deadly Sins is one of the most successful animes that they've ever put on Netflix.
Yeah,
like Netflix exclusive anime. 7 Deadly Sins crushes it.
Yeah.
And they didn't make 7 Deadly Sins. They just bought the rights for it. So I think seeing that, they're going to try to take a lot of elements from it and figure out what worked well and what they need to do. Like, was it the fantasy world? Was it the characters? Was it the story? The style? Like, every part of it, they need to fucking break down.
They need to dissect it, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's what they're probably doing with this. But I'm excited to find out what they're doing, especially because that means our list here of fucking like 20 to 30 shows
would get so much larger.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get, about like 8 more per season.
Yeah, so only other piece of news that I saw was they showed some more images of they casted for the live action
Mob.
No, not just Mob. Live action Kids on a Slope.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was interesting. I mean, I don't know how I feel about live action Kids on a Slope because I love Kids on a Slope. It was one of the most amazing things I saw.
I think that show lends itself to being really easy to do live action if they don't fuck around.
Because it's just like an amazing story. There's nothing fantastical about it. Like I'm saying,
not
like,
at all.
Like
they just need to get the music parts down and like really make you care about things
and get good actors. Like it's really like
it's got to be a good drama. But you also
Yeah.
have to make sure that you're not being too dramatic, which is fucking difficult.
Yeah, and they almost always just decide like, oh, you need this character. He's not going to look in at all. Kids on Slope, they look Asian,
Yeah.
except for the one guy who's half Asian.
Yeah, and
he still looks
like,
Asian.
He's like a big half white, half Asian dude.
Yeah,
so,
he's
like, whatever.
So I think they can do it. I really hope for that to be great because I love that anime. It's such a great anime. Cool. So that's the news. How about we get to this week's topic?
We got so much fucking anime to talk about. It's 2017 Fall Anime Preview Week. Week. So the way that I've organized it is it's a little bit random, a little bit not.
Okay.
We're talking about all of Amazon strikes animes.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about all of Crunchyroll's animes.
And then we're gonna compare them. Like which one was better.
So we are definitely going to be talking about all that shit. But then we also have it organized by the source material, whether it was original, a manga, whatever.
Fucking try hard. Look at all this work you put into this.
So we have it organized by, there's like a series of mangas and there's a series of games and originals and all that shit.
Okay.
So we could kind of see each section and see what was the most successful in each one. And I think that that's going to be kind of a cool thing to check out, because there have been a lot of times where we've talked about like, oh man, this is original. It was a really good show. Mm-hmm. Why don't we have more original anime that are this good? And then we see a lot of things that are based off of good source material, and we're like, wow, they fucking crushed it. So which is better? Like,
okay, cool. We'll do that. Yeah. I know you were telling me off air that for almost all of these, you've at least watched one.
I watched one of everything. I haven't continued on any more than one episode, and there are a lot of shows that I want to watch more.
So you've only watched one for everything. There's not like one that you watched maybe two.
No, and the reason for that is I haven't had enough time to do TV stuff. I just want to make sure,
because there's a few shows. I didn't watch as many shows as you did, but I did watch more of the shows than you did.
And I'm excited because I'm pretty sure that most of the ones that you watched are ones that I want to continue watching.
The one. Okay, since I was super busy with like school and stuff, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick the shows that Trip said he'd like, Trip said I might like, and the ones that I was interested in, and give those a shot, because I really didn't want to waste my little time with a lot of shows. I knew that, you know what, I'm just gonna hate this. Like, what's the point? So let's.
And there were some that you watched that I'm happy that you wound up watching, because I didn't enjoy them, and I'm happy that we get to talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's fucking get into it.
Okay.
Amazon strike. The first show we're talking about is Inuyashiki Last Hero, made by MAPPA, the studio, and it's based off of a manga.
Cool.
Now, you had asked me last week, what do you
think about it? I was like, what do you think about the old guy with the like powers or whatever? And you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, so this is essentially a show that it starts out and you're just like, oh man, what a sad, sad man. It's about the sad, sad man who has this fucking terrible family.
They're not terrible. They just kind of like,
they treat him like shit, and he's having a hard time.
I mean, we've seen worse families. They're more just don't appreciate their father, which is like sad, but in my opinion, more realistic. It's not like, they're not just like, shut up, stupid dad, you don't know anything. It's more just like they don't want to deal with him, which is sad.
Yeah. So he's having a hard time, and he just bought a new house, and they're like trashing it, like trash talking.
They're joking, because it's really tiny or whatever.
Like, oh man, this house fucking sucks. It's so small. Like, why wouldn't you get a bigger house? Why wouldn't we live somewhere else?
Well, they're behind a massive mansion, and like the kid points out, like, it's the middle of the day and it's dark out because we're fucking behind this mansion. Anyway,
couldn't find a better place. So there's a lot of elements where you're just like, okay, this guy's got a bad life going on, and then he winds up finding this little dog, and it's like, oh cool, cute little fucking dog, he's gonna be happy. And then the family's like, fuck dude, keep your dog out of the house, this can't be an inside dog. And it's like, I'll just keep it in my room then. It's all good.
Calm the fuck down. This is the only thing in the world that loves me.
Right. And then him and the dog are hanging out in the park in the middle of the night because he's feeling nice and sad and wants to go on a little walkie.
Well, it's because we found out he has cancer. He has stomach cancer and he's dying.
And then he's having a breakdown about him having cancer.
Which again was super sad, because he just wanted to talk to somebody about it, and no one would give him the time of day, and all he had was this dog. So then he goes to the park. Yeah.
So him and the dog are hanging out, and he's having himself a little cry in the park, which is, it's fucking... I would love to have a cry in the park if I ever get cancer.
Hey man, I'll go with you.
Want to cry in the park?
I'm not gonna cry with you, but I'll like.
You're not gonna fucking cry with me?
I will be on the leash, and I'll be there for moral support.
That works, I guess. So yeah, he's having a cry, and there's a man nearby, and he's like, "Oh fuck, my bad, dude. Like, I didn't realize that you're also there. Like, shit, dude." And then they die.
Yeah, like,
because there's a giant fucking alien explosion.
Yeah.
And then the aliens are like, shit, didn't mean to kill those people. We really fucked up, guys. Let's just remake them in like robot form, but keep their same mind, because we're super aliens.
But apparently they can't. They're so super advanced, but they can't accidentally like avoid killing two people.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, okay, whatever. So they recreate these people, and we get to, like, we don't know anything about the other guy from the first episode. But the old man, you know, he wakes up and is like, oh shit, I fell asleep. Like, I'm an idiot. Time to go back home. And then he's figuring out that he's a robot by like accidentally activating shit. And he's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, well, he's feeling better, and then he's realizing, you know, he's super thirsty, but he's not. His back doesn't hurt, his stomach doesn't hurt. You know, he doesn't need lenses to see anymore. Yeah, and then he just starts steaming out of his hand because apparently he can't like. He spews out a bunch of food because he can't really process it. Yeah. So yeah, he's slowly discovering. It's a real body horror moment where he discovers like he's not human anymore, which kind of was really kind of a little unsettling.
It was intense. Yeah. So he's having this big old panic, and his wife is like, "The fuck are you doing in there?"
Yeah, calm the dog down. I was like, "Are you?" He's like yelling out of like total fucking fear, and she's just like, "You shut that fucking dog up right now." I was like, "Oh man, what a bitch."
Yeah. So actually, was he the grandpa? I think he was the grandpa.
He would say he would call her honey.
Yeah, but I mean, you call your children honey.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he was the grandpa.
I think he was the grandpa.
He still wore his wedding ring, which threw me off for a second. I was like, you know, no, there's no grandma there. I don't know. He is an older gentleman though.
Yeah. So yeah, then he's freaking out and he finds out he's like a robot, and his whole face and head opens up, and he's like, "The fuck is happening?" Yeah. And that's essentially the first episode.
Oh, well, then he also, like, then he goes back to the party again because he's super bummed out. And he's just like, because he's not crying, which is something that scares him. Because he's like, I'm not human anymore. What the fuck? And then
he saves a
homeless guy from like these fucking youths. Which is it just in Japan? There's like
I guess it's just in Japan.
There's just street youths that go kill homeless people with bats and fireworks. Because this isn't the first time we've seen this in anime.
Tokyo Godfathers. Yeah. Did it happen in Paranoid Agent?
Yeah. It's fucked up. But he saves him, and then he starts crying because he's like, wow, I saved that person. Like, I'm human still. And he's like, he feels good. And that's the end of the first episode. And that's all you saw. Yeah. And what were your thoughts like after that?
I didn't care enough about him. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of like a sad story, but not one that I was super interested in. Yeah. I wasn't super concerned about what was going on with the aliens. Yeah. It just felt like they were going to be out of it for a while.
Yeah, like it just kind of happened, and that was all there was to it, yeah.
I was interested to see him and the other guy figure out what's going on together, which clearly is going to happen, but it just didn't happen the first episode.
For sure.
And they're going to go around saving people from what I understand.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
just based on the title, The Last Hero or whatever.
Is it called
Inuyashiki?
Last Hero, right? What? Did you? So you decided if you're gonna keep watching it, or you kind of no.
I didn't like the animation that much. It had a lot of 3D animation and a lot of 2D animation, but I never felt like we needed the 3D. And it just kind of took me out of it, which is weird. Like, keep consistency. And I thought the 2D animation was great. Yeah, I don't know.
I also like the 2D animation. The 3D animation was a little much. It's definitely on the nose. You're just like, wow, like, come on, man. Like
it looked good, but there were points where it's like, why is that dog 3D right now? Yeah, and then the next shot, it's 2D. Yeah, and absolutely. It was like, there was no fucking, I don't know.
So so I watched the first episode, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give the second episode a shot, because I think there's 3 episodes out by now. Yep. So I watched the second one. In the second one, we meet the other guy that got turned into whatever.
Yeah, the robo
dude or whatever
thing.
So I kind of felt the same way after the first one. I was like, you know what, like, the show's fine. Like, you know, it's not enough to keep me like, you know, entertained or whatever. Like, and I actually did kind of care for the guy. I feel like,
well, clearly I felt sorry for him. I felt like there was a lot going on, and then he saved that homeless man. I was like, cool.
Yeah,
like,
good for you. Exactly. So
I really liked, and the story with the homeless man was nice and sad. You know, he was trying really hard to get back on his feet, and he landed like
a job, and he convinced his wife to take him back, give him another shot, which was, and then he was just like, the very next day he was gonna stop living on the streets and go back and reconcile with his wife. And then he got like attacked by these fucking horrible kids.
Yeah. So you're just like, fuck, on every night, like, it's fine. And then here we are.
The one night. Fucking... but I actually did feel bad for the guy. And I sympathized with him. I cared about him, because I'd be thinking it'd be terrifying to wake up and like find out you're an alien, or find out you're dying from cancer. You know, just have your family not really care for you.
I agree.
And I thought it was super realistic, because like, like I said, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't like, shut up, old man, you don't know nothing. It was, right. It was more just like, they couldn't be bothered with how he was, which is super
it was too much work for them. Yeah.
Yeah. In the second episode, we meet the second guy that was also there, the younger dude. And for a second, I thought, I got like they will switcheroos, like, oh, it's gonna be this one guy, but it was this other guy, you know, like who because we don't really get a good look at him. We just know it's a guy, and he's got like kind of longish hair. That's all. But sure. You know. We find out who he is, and he goes around and showing his other buddy, who is feeling down on himself, like, hey man, this is what happened to me. Look at all the things I can do. and he's like, I'm not even human anymore or whatever. Obviously, and he's like, so stop being a bitch and come to school tomorrow. And the guy's just like, no, man, I don't know. He's just like, hey, if you want, he's like, and then this is what really got. He's like, hey, if you want, like, tell me who beat you up and I'll kill them for you. And he's like, what?
Jeez.
And so then I was like, oh, and I was like, in my head is like, that's as far as the episode's gonna go. Like, as dark it is. No, we really quickly find out that this kid that got these powers is a sociopath and a fucking murderer, and he just fucking destroys a family. It's so fucking dark. And the old guy, he hears it. You know how he has that super hearing. You know,
yeah.
He hears it and he goes to try to like save them, but he's just too late. And they meet each other for a split second. And you know, the guy thinks he kills the old guy. He gets up, turns around. The young kid looks at him. He goes, what are you? You know, so like they've met, and we instantly see like, oh, okay, so it's not going to be a teamwork thing. That's the bad guy. This is the good guy.
Okay, rad. Yeah.
So I actually I like the show. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm interested. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, but that's really the worst part about it for me, where I'm just like, you know what? There's a lot that I want to continue watching and check out this season. So
that can just go to the wayside.
I mean, yeah, but like second episode does sound like it's better than the first.
It was a lot better.
More story stuff going on, because this was just like, check out how sad this guy's life is, and that's pretty much all the first episode was. Mm-hmm. So episode 2 having a little bit more depth to it, where we have a really interesting character.
Oh man,
that's going and actually doing things is pretty cool.
Honestly, it built a really bad, like it set up a really like evil bad guy, you know. And
that's great,
and I can't wait to see more of him. I think I saw one of the saddest deaths in that episode I've ever seen. Like it was really like seeing him kill somebody, and the way he did it, it was just like I was literally like, oh, like I had to like stop. Like that is the most fucked up thing I've seen in a long time. I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching this show. So. That's my opinion. Cool. And maybe give the second episode a shot if you really want to. If you have time.
You know what? I might do that.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure yet, but
check it out. Let me know what you think.
I would like to check it out.
Cool. Next one.
So we're going to talk about Land of the Lustrous, made by Orange, and it's based off of a manga. And we've talked about this in the news before. It's like very Steven Universe-y.
Yeah, we brought it up because you were like describing the show, and I was like, oh, they're making an anime version of Steven Universe. Because it's about like these 28 gems or diamonds or jewels or whatever, and they're aliens and they're protecting the Earth or blah blah from something else. And I was like, yeah, Steven Universe. I've seen that.
Fuck yeah.
And would make in my head, I was like, it makes sense. Fucking Bones Trigger's all about Steven Universe, you know. And then they like them. So this other studio's just like, you know what? Maybe we'll just make Steven Universe, and no one will notice. We notice. This show. I didn't like the show.
I didn't either.
I thought it was ugly as fuck.
That's one of the things where it had an opportunity to be really pretty, and instead they made all the characters like 3D.
Yeah.
But
they all look the same though, right?
Yeah, and they all look really, really similar, which is a shame.
Like they're all like lanky, they're really pale, they got like shorts on or whatever, and the only thing that really sets them apart is their really gorgeous looking hair, which I did like. I did think their hair was nice because they're all different jewels and all different names or whatever, and they're but besides that, like seeing them fight, like go into combat or run or do anything, I was just like, this is, I don't like the way it looks, and I've slowly come around to liking more 3D animation.
Me too.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of 2D animation. I think I like it more than anything, but I'm more willing to accept 3D animation now. I just don't think this was well done.
I didn't either, and I was pretty bummed about that too, because the idea of it seems kind of cool. But the first episode didn't have much going on at all. So we were following this one girl who had she had this like green hair. I can't remember what her name was.
PHO. POH, like phosphorus.
Yeah, she was some phosphorite.
She's a green. She was a green gem of some sort.
Yeah, so I think it was phosphorite.
Yeah, probably.
And then she was essentially making an encyclopedia because she needed a job to do, and she was wandering around like, what do I do? And they're like, make an encyclopedia, bitch.
Yeah,
and she's like, okay.
Their master just like make this like write down her history, because essentially she's they keep bringing up that her hardness is only 3.5, which is super low, so she breaks super easily. So she can't go into combat, which is like all she wants to do, but she's just shit at it. So there's like, just write her history down. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah. So she's going around trying to figure that out, and for some reason she needs to talk to this one girl who
is another gem.
She's essentially just like really, really toxic. She can't control her powers. She's like Mercury or something like that.
Essentially, she looks like Mercury. She's not Mercury though. But yeah, they send her out on her job is to be on patrol at night, and they're fighting against these people who live on the moon, and they never come out at night. They always fight. They always attack during the day. So everybody knows essentially her job is pointless, and they're just trying to keep her out of the way because they don't want her to burn the world more than she already does. and she's like super, and she's even weaker than the main character. She's like a hardness 2, which is like less than the other ones.
Yeah.
She breaks super easily, but she's strong because she has this weird acid power.
Essentially, yeah, she has this weird Mercury stuff that she uses to fight all of the moon angels that come down with their fucking bows and whatnot, and she could create a shield with it and burns everything. But anything that she touches, she burns. She just like ruins the land. She's an incredibly difficult person to be around because of how dangerous she is. So that's why they've kind of isolated her as well.
Yeah.
Like... And our main character friend meets up with her, and now they're the main characters, and they're gonna like learn together about how to be better. And
the other girl, like the girl promises to find her like the perfect job for her. Like she's like I'm gonna find the perfect spot for you. Like I'm not gonna have you hidden away anymore, which is super sweet. And that is. But in the end, it's like maybe this is probably she's probably the best spot possible. Like what she does is super tough. Again, I really liked like the way their hair looked. I thought that was pretty. But honestly, like I guess besides that, it was kind of everything else was ugly, and I also didn't really care for the story too much.
The voice acting was great, but it did not fit with the faces.
Yeah, no, because they're 3D and they can't really animate them the way they really should. Yeah, but I do like the way like the main character like bantering back and forth with these two other gems that she got like into like a fit with. Like I really enjoyed that. Like I thought that was like probably the one saving grace about the show. But besides that, I don't think the show's any good. Yeah,
I was pretty bummed. I wanted to like this, but it wasn't for me. All right, so UQ Holder by JC Staff is it's based off of a manga, and this is a show that's about this boy who lives out in a rural town in a world with magic. It's very well known that there's magic in the world, but this rural town doesn't have much because it's fucking small, so why would there be much? But these kids are trying to learn magic, so they're doing their fucking best, and they're trying super hard to be good in school, and they just want to learn magic really bad, but they don't really have anybody to teach them magic.
Okay.
And then we find out that their teacher is magic, and that their teacher is also the foster mother or adoptive mother, whatever you want to say.
The surrogate mother, whatever.
Yeah, to the child, our main character friend. Essentially, they keep trying to like battle their teacher, and are like, "We'll fucking get you." And then she's like, "You guys can't ever get me, and so suck it," because she's magic and they can't tell. But then these kids are learning magic from another teacher. He's like, "Hey, I know that you guys want to learn magic, so check it out. This is some fucking magic." And they're doing magic, like, "This is the coolest shit. Thank you so much, teacher." He's like, "No problem. I got you guys anytime." And then they head out and they're having fun and they're like, all right, we're going to fucking get her now that we know how to use magic. So they do. And they essentially just like wrap her up in some vines and tie her down. And they're like, ha, now you're stuck and like we can beat you. But then this other teacher comes up. He's like, all right, thanks for the help, boys. I'm going to fucking kill her now. Because her guard was down.
What?
And he comes in and he's like, fuck you. And uses like some super magic and starts like slicing her up.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, that's pretty brutal, right?
Yeah, it's kind of dark.
Yeah. And then the kid is like, okay, I'm going to do my fucking best and I'm going to save the fuck out of you. So he's doing what he can and he runs in. He's like, ah. And then his arm gets cut off.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward. And then she's like, you can still fucking help and get out of here and like get somebody else to help and just like do anything, kid. So he's doing his best. And then after it's all taken care of, in whatever way that they can, Magic Man goes away. And I think that the boys are all just unconscious, like they were all put to sleep and they weren't actually injured. It was just the main character and his mom lady. We find out main character, his parents died, and this vampire lady, because it turns out she's a vampire that has magic, made him a vampire in order to save his life.
Okay.
So he is also half vampire, because I don't know if you know how vampire stuff works.
I know vampires, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you could be a half vampire. So he is one, so that's why he didn't die when he got his arm chopped off and whatnot.
Did it grow back or something?
Yeah, they just grow back their body parts, though. Okay. Totally cool. So essentially we are setting off on this new adventure where they're going to go to the big city, which is like on the moon or some shit, apparently, because there's a giant elevator that just goes into the sky.
Okay.
So they're heading over there. And you know what? The show seemed pretty okay, but it had that one thing that ruins shows.
Fan service.
Fucking so much fan service. And I was like, why? What's the point of this? This is like way too much. I don't know about that.
So you're saying
like,
I'd love the show.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the show's your fucking jam. But no, the mom had fucking huge boobs, and they were like focused on a lot. And then she would walk, and it would be like, all right, here's the outline of her ass and whatever she's wearing.
Whoa, say no more.
Like Trip. Every fucking shot.
Calm down, I'm getting too hot over here, dog.
I know you are. It's why I do the show. It was just a little bit too much for me. Overall, the animation was really, really cool. Okay. The voice acting was fine. Like, every part of it was pretty good, but I felt like there was just so much fan service, and there was no need for it. Mm-hmm. And because there's so many other shows that I want to check out, I don't think that I'm going to continue watching this, which is kind of a shame because it looked pretty good.
Cool. It sucks that they got ruined for you, but we know JC Staff makes good stuff, so
yeah. And it also made sense. Like JC Staff does Food Wars,
right?
So
like the sexiest show out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. What's up?
Next up is Himouto Umaru-Chan R, made by Doga Kobo, and it's based off of a manga. Right. Now, this is the second season of Umaru, and the first one was a huge success. I really liked it when it came out, and I have rewatched a couple of episodes here and there, and I'm liking it less and less the more that I go back to it. So I don't know if it's because I've seen so much different anime and I know what else is out there and how good things can be, or if I'm just not into that style of comedy anymore.
Yeah.
But the first episode of this is essentially Umaru gets her day to herself. Her brother's out at work all day, so she's just doing her thing, eating, playing video games, and then she starts like training with her pal, which later on during the series, she winds up meeting with this girl who is in another class, and they're like rivals essentially. And she meets up with her outside of class while she's playing video games at an arcade. But she wears like a little disguise with like a fucking stupid bandit mask type thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like just like the eyes are covered or whatever.
Like an old school robber.
Yeah, exactly. And then she wears this little cap, and she looks like a like cool fucking gamer.
Like Umaru-Chan wearing like a cap and the fucking bandit mask.
Like just like a cool badass chick, you know? Not like the little like a hamster girl.
Oh, yeah, okay. She looks human.
Yeah, she looks regular. And her initials in games are UMR, so that's what she has like on her hat. Anyways, this other chick is like pretty into gaming too, so they become rivals and they wind up fighting at this this like fighting game competition. And Umaru is like better than her, but they're competitive, and they see each other as friends while Umaru's in her disguise, and they don't know like that they're each other or whatever. Anyway, so the same thing's going on. They're pals now, but she's getting ready for the soccer game that they're about to compete in, and Umaru's like, yeah, I'll help you learn how to play, whatever, and teaches her a little bit.
Because she's amazing at everything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then after that, they actually compete, and of course, like, this chick's fucking amazing suddenly, but she's the only one that's amazing on our team because she knows how to play well by herself, but not with the team because they only practiced, one-on-one. And Umaru's great at everything, so her whole team's doing good. Anyways, that's essentially the episode. You fucking heard it. In terms of the plot, there are jokes here and there, but it didn't land for me. It just wasn't that fun.
Cool. Do you know what the R stands for? Because we were guessing it was like Umaru-Chan racing. Like
it's supposed to be a joke like that, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, because you know how...
Diddy Kong R or whatever,
Yeah, exactly, like Crash Bandicoot R and whatnot, or CTR. So I think it's supposed to be racing.
You know what? I don't know if I probably won't watch the show because I wasn't the hugest fan of Umaru, and I've said it before. I was actually pleasantly surprised to know because people online do like the show. Yeah, but there are people online who also really don't like Umaru.
There are a lot of people that don't like it.
She's divisive. She people think she's hilarious and what she does, and people just find her really obnoxious. And I'm one of the people. I'm the latter of the two. I don't like her as like a person. Even though she's like
I completely like she's a piece of shit.
And people, but people who like that, like the fact that she's a garbage person. It's cool. I mean, I do like the way Umaru-Chan looks. I like the show.
The cover for this looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it looks super fun.
I love it. Like, it has so much going on, but like, it's got all of her different personalities, and she's riding on this bottle of Dr. Pepper, which is the only drink that she ever has. And it just looks fucking great. And then I was going into this like, what are they going to do? Like, this looks way better than the first one, which is just like a bunch of shit going on, but like nothing specific. And this one, it looks like there's like adventure awaiting.
And nothing.
But nothing really. It's just the same show. And, you know, I feel like Doga Kobo has kind of gone in a different direction progressively, where they're, you know, they started out with Umaru and it was a huge success. So they kept doing things that were like kind of cutesy. And they made the one with Angels and Demons.
Gabriel Dropout.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know why I remember that.
Dude, I'm happy that you do, because I would have never fucking done it. Which essentially it's just like the same thing where it's just girls doing shit that's funny and it's kind of cute. And did they also do Kobayashi?
I don't know which one's that?
Dragon Maid?
They might have. I don't know.
I think that they did.
I can't look it up.
Yeah, true. So essentially all of this shit, like, it's just not as good as it was, I guess, when I first watched it.
I get it.
And I don't know if I'm used to it or what, but it wasn't for me. And anybody that wants to watch Umaru, keep fucking doing it. Go for it.
No,
like, who cares?
As much as I just like the show, doesn't mean that other people can't find some sort of happiness with it. Because people love Umaru-Chan.
Oh, yeah.
And that's fine. Go for it. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm surprised you didn't like it. Maybe
I was surprised too. Immediately, I texted my old roommate who we had watched it together. And I was like, hey, have you seen the new Umaru? And she was just like, what? No, what's it on? I'm like, oh, it's on Amazon Strike. And she's like, no, I don't have that. Which I totally relate. Like, Amazon Strike, it sucks having so many different services. But yeah, she just wasn't into it. I just wasn't into it. And I was really hoping that she would have something to let me know. Like, maybe if she liked it or not.
Yeah, no. So maybe a couple ideas as to why it might be like that. Maybe it wasn't a strong episode. Maybe like it was a weak episode to start. Been. Maybe you've matured. Your taste of anime is different.
Yeah.
Or maybe, or maybe just not good anymore. And that's also a thing. But hey, more power to Umaru-chan. Good luck with whatever. I know I'm not gonna watch it. Are you gonna continue watching it?
I might check it out later. Like, if I'm just like sitting around, like, what do I watch? Like,
give it a second chance.
Let's see if there's another episode. One thing that I do want to know is that the intro and outro not as good.
Oh, dude, and that's like one of my favorite things about Umaru-chan. Like the intro was super fun. Yeah, no, cool. All right, so that was Umaru-chan. What we're doing next up is. Okay, so here's a funny story. So you asked me, like, hey, man, what shows you watch? I sent you a text. You're like, cool. And then you sent me a text like, hey, man, did you get around to watching this show? I was like, no. I was like, could you get around to watching this show? Because, like, the one show that you missed.
I've watched literally everything else except for Blood Blockade, Battlefront, and Beyond.
Well, yeah.
Because
that's a sequel.
It's a sequel, and I didn't finish the first one.
Right, exactly.
I knew that you had already watched that.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's the only one that I didn't get to watch, and you're going to tell us about it.
Cool. So this is this anime is called My Girlfriend is a Shobitch, right?
Yeah, My Girlfriend is Shobitch.
And I don't even know who this is.
Diomedea.
And Studio Blanc. And it's a web manga, right? It's best off web manga. Okay, so
Studio Blanc, by the way, like,
whatever,
like white.
Right off the bat, like I saw the cover to this, I was like, oh man, it just reminded me of that other anime from last
Aramanga
season.
Sensei.
No, another.
Oh, My Girlfriend is a Gal.
That's
my first girlfriend is a gal.
Yeah, my first girlfriend's a gal. So I'm like, it just reminded me of that. I'm like, it's gonna have those vibes, like. But I told Trip I'd watch it, and so I'm going to see it.
You know what? I wasn't trying to put it off for last. Yeah. Here's the thing. I thought I had watched everything on Amazon Strike, and I had at the time.
Oh, they added it?
But this was added a little bit after.
Yeah.
And I watched everything on Crunchyroll, and I thought I was good. And then I was like, fuck, shit. Fuck.
And then you're for sure at work, and this is definitely one of those animes you shouldn't watch at work. Like,
oh no.
And I know you've seen stuff at work before, but like, this is not one you watch at work. Okay, so the basic story of it is we have our main character, and he likes this chick in class, and she has like a white hair, and she's like a shorter haircut, and she is like. She has larger breasts, a nice butt.
Tell me more.
She's not massive, like in My Girlfriend's a Gal. Like she was the first Girlfriend's a Gal. She was like she almost looked like she was too old to be in high school. She kind of looked like a prostitute.
Okay, well, here's one of the things. I feel like you have to do that so that it's not like crazy fucking sketchy.
Yeah, well, in this one, this girl looked like she was just in high school. I mean, she did have like, like she had breasts and butt, whatever, but she actually looked like a student. I was like, okay, cool. I'm already liking it more than My Girlfriend's a Gal.
Okay, yeah.
So he likes this girl, whatever, and he decides he's gonna like confess his love to her, and so he does it, and he's like, "Hey, I like you. Will you go out with me?" And this girl's perfect. Like she's like class rep, president, whatever, student council. She's really good at sports. She has no fault. So obviously, like the joke is. There's no way she's gonna go out with him. He's way too good, right? But no, she's just like she goes, okay, yeah, I'll go out with you. I've never had a boyfriend before, so you'll have to be patient with me. I don't know exactly what to do, but I'll try my best to be the best girlfriend out there. And he's like, really? She's like, yeah. She goes like, to start off, and this is the first joke. Like to start off, I will learn the first 48 positions of the Kama Sutra, essentially, to pleasure you, to stimulate you or to have you aroused or whatever. And she's like, what? So then the joke is heavily thicked on throughout the entire show that she is super. Whatever she does, she gives 100% to it, and she tries really hard, and she wants to be the best. She wants to be the best at things. She's a good person, and she doesn't understand that. There's like steps to like. She doesn't understand how to like somebody. Like there's steps to like. We start off with like talking, getting to know each other, holding hands, kissing, hugging, kissing. Like there's that progression. Yeah. No, she's straight to like, okay, let's do the sex part. Like let's just. Like
full throttle.
Like let me take care of you. Men are pigs. I'm listening. Like she's like at lunch. She's listening to something. He's like, what are you listening to? She's like, she goes, I'm listening to like. There's so many topics that men talk about, and like I want to be better. I want to know you better. I want to have things to talk to you about, to conversate. So I'm listening to a bunch of stuff to get to know. He's like, oh, you would do that for me? That's so sweet. She pulls out her headphones and it's just women moaning. It's like he goes like, what are you listening to? The good thing about the show is that even though she's over the top, for them, at least our main character isn't a total perv. Like, they're like, there's always that, another anime is like guys that'll just be like, yeah, let's take advantage of this. Oh my God. And like, they'll feel sleazy about it. This guy's just like, every time she does one of these things, he is always like, hey, just cool it. Like, like I just kind of, how about we just walk together or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So the web manga is kind of like a 4-koma style where it's just like really, really short bits.
Yeah. So it's just like something, I'm assuming it's like, setup, something inappropriate, a wacky ending or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's kind of like Charlie Brown ending.
Yeah.
Where Charlie Brown finally at the end is just like,
exactly. That's exactly what all these bits are. And the intro was a fucking hoot and a half. Like, we see the main character girl, and there's just a lot of shot of her boobs and her like having her strap, like her bag strap in between it, so like you can obviously see both her breasts or whatever. They're on a date. We see other girls that are obviously going to be love interests at some point. Like one's a cat chick, one's an older chick that has smaller breasts, but she had there's whatever. And then we get to the point where like they're eating food, and there's background imagery, and there's like bananas and cherries and strawberries, and then he feeds her like a strawberry, and then they're like all the girls are naked on this fucking cake of like fucking desserts, and he just dribbles like I don't know, frosting, I'm assuming, on her, or whipped cream, and it's like just white cream that lands like on her chest and mouth, and then he picks up the strawberry and she falls off. She's obviously naked. Yeah, man, it was
hoot and a holler.
Dude, this is definitely the show for you, Trip.
You know what? I actually did want to see this because I wanted to compare it to another show we're going to talk about.
Okay, comparatively to the show I saw like last season, Girlfriend's a Gal, I think this one's better.
I would expect it to be.
The jokes, it's the same joke over and over, but I don't feel uncomfortable about how he reacts, because like he kind of just reacts the way like a normal teen would react, being like, whoa, bitch, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of oblivious to the fact that she doesn't know what she's doing. It's fine. It looks good. It actually does. It actually looks really good. But it's not for me. Like, I wouldn't watch this.
That's fair.
Yeah, cool. So that was the show, and I'm not glad you made me watch it, but I would appreciate you at least watching one episode to tick for tat.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you fucking understand what I watched. So next up, Girls Last Tour. It's done by White Fox, and it's based off of a web manga. Now, this is a show that I was actually excited for. It's about these two girls that are living in this post-apocalyptic kind of like dystopian war era, where they've got this little tank thing, and they're going around town, and they're just trying to live. I was pretty into it, but there were a couple of things that took me out. So there's not a lot to say about it. It's just a couple of people that are talking and trying to get through it, and they have, like, one of them is more of a, like, wacky kind of like
an airhead.
Yeah, exactly. And the other one is more serious, and like the one who makes the final decisions a lot of the time. So they're going around and they're trying to find supplies and whatnot. For a while they're just inside this really dark looking hallway inside of a factory type thing, and then
huge tunnel, just like they can't even see, like they can't see any light. They haven't seen light for days.
So they make it all the way through, and then they find a little like air shelter type thing. They find some rations, and then they also find some like weapon supplies to stock up on. And while they're eating their rations, you know, they have to make sure to only have a little bit. They're trying to like, this tastes really good. Like, what flavor is it? It's like it's something called chocolate.
Never heard of it.
I think I like chocolate.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't know what it is. So they're having it. And then it turns out that there's a fifth piece for the rations and they were trying to split it evenly. So, you know, the logical thing, split it in half. But then one of them pulls out a big old like fucking machine gun on the other.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
give it to
I
me.
get the fucking ration.
Give it to me. And he's like, what are you doing? It's like, you should have picked up a weapon or whatever. This is mine now.
Got like way too serious, way too quick. And I was like, dark. I think I kind of like that. But then she was just like, I'm just playing around. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think that I'm okay with this. I don't think I liked that. But I want to watch more of the show because it was really interesting to me. I don't want to go into too much detail, you know, to kind of save time. But if you are interested in a post-apocalyptic type show, this is kind of what you're looking for. The art style.
Kind of chibi.
It's got this weird chibi art style. Think Made in Abyss, but like squishier.
Yeah, it's made in Abyss, but like obviously 2D and flatter. You know, like I like the way it looked a lot. I thought it was interesting, and especially because of like the type of like themes that are going along with it, these dark themes, and I really like the relationship between the two of them. Like,
Like, I wanted to learn more about that.
Yeah, like I like the scene where she's trying to wake her up from like her sleep. She's like hitting her, and then she can't get her up, and so he just like punches it, slaps the shit out of her, and like really gets her. I was like, yeah, I like it. Just I enjoyed it.
I want to see what else there is to the show.
Yeah.
Did you watch the second episode?
No, I only got one for this one, but so far, I like it. It's not perfect, but it's interesting.
This is one that I want to keep watching because I want to see more about the world. Clearly, they're going to run into people. That's what happens in all these shows. Yeah. And you know, I want to see what else is out there. That's why I started watching The Walking Dead. I was just like, that seems fucking cool. Like, these people are teaming up, they're meeting each other, and like, I want to see how everyone deals with it. And that's what the first season of The Walking Dead was.
Before it got really lame.
Yeah, and I was into it. So I'm excited to see what else this show has to offer.
Cool, me too. I'm going to keep watching this one. I like it.
Cool. Next up, Just Because by Pine Jam. It's an original anime. And did you watch this?
Yeah, I watched 2 episodes.
I liked it a lot,
me too.
Actually. And I don't know why I did. First off, the animation's great, so that helped. And then the story is like non-existent.
Yeah.
Which I also think I like.
Yeah.
But it's not a slice of life.
Absolutely, no.
It's like you're continuing to watch these characters grow. They're in high school, and we have a lot of different characters, and they have a lot of different kinds of relationships, and it's not like they're not making jokes. It's not over the top. It's a drama.
Exactly. And
they are real people. That's what I really, really appreciate about this. It feels like just a drama, just watching a regular TV drama or watching a movie more than anything. Because I feel like TV dramas are a bit different. They still feel episodic in some way. Like even Breaking Bad, it's like, oh man, what the fuck's going to happen now? But with a lot of movies, you know, you're watching it and you know that things are going to happen, but you're more so lost in the characters and lost in their relationships to, you know, try to focus on what's going on. More like an indie movie
for sure
than anything.
So I agree. I really do like this one because it's based in school. It's about a kid who's moving back after moving for a long time, and there's these existing relationships that we kind of know about, and we get to see some, and there's new relationships being built. There's feelings that are back and forth, some that are reciprocated, some that aren't, you know. But the real thing that I agree was really driving me towards liking this was the fact that it wasn't over the top. There wasn't like a bunch of like tropes. There was a few things, even like the kids that were like the comedic humor in the show. Yeah, they felt real. They just felt like that annoying loud kid in class.
Well, right. I mean, like when we watched it, you know, they have a character in that's just fucking obnoxious. And he's there for comic relief, but he's also like an actual person.
Yeah, he's actually also really scared about being there, you know. And he's only obnoxious because and like vulgar because that's who he is as a person. But we believe it, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing to have in a lot of shows is where you have that real feeling person instead of, you know, I fucking love these ridiculous characters that go over the top and whatnot, but they don't feel real, and they're a lot of fun, but they're not real. And I like it when they have those funny characters that do feel real, and like, you know what, their jokes don't always land, but they fucking, that's life. It's fine.
The second episode we see them go like on a group date, which is super fun.
That's cool.
Again, you know, it's not a slice of life because It just doesn't have that slice of life feeling to it.
Yeah.
But we also, it's also doesn't really have a real plot because, there's no like real stakes or anything, but things do happen progressively, like in a successive order that you kind of have to be a part of to follow along with. I super enjoyed it. I'm going to say this real quick. For this show, there's actually a lot of shows this season where I really like the music for them.
This show did have
This show had great music.
Yeah.
I liked the soundtrack for the Last Girl tour also. When they come up, I'll let you know which other ones I liked.
Yeah.
But I really liked the way this thing sounded. And I was just like, wow, it was
great. I want to watch more. It's not, I want to say it's easy to watch, but it's not easy to watch because there's a lot going on. There are a lot of characters that are talking because one thing that I really appreciated about the show Orange is everyone was talking.
Yeah.
Like
it
they were all
fake,
talking over each other.
Yeah.
And this kind of feels like that. Like it's more realistically paced in a conversation than in an anime where, say your line.
Take your turns.
Yeah. Like this is your turn for your line. And punchline here. Thanks, that guy.
I agree. I did like that about Orange. I do like that about this. We'll talk about that up when another show comes up because another show does it and does it, I feel like, really poorly. So yeah, that's enough. I'm going to continue watching this. Obviously, you are, right?
Yes.
So what's next?
So we're going to be talking about Crunchyroll anime from this time on.
Okay.
There were only 7 shows on Amazon Strike, and overall, I really liked 2 of them. And I might wind up checking out Inuyashiki Last Hero and maybe Umaru, but I really, really like 2.
I think Strike, from what I saw, was doing pretty good. Other stuff I'll maybe check out later.
And you know what? 2 out of 7, that's not that bad.
It's kind of funny that in reality, 2 out of 7 is like a bad score.
So whoa, you fucked up.
But anime wise, that's really good.
Yeah, because there's a lot of anime that is just miss.
Yeah, 2 solid shows for sure. And then like I said, I personally like Last Hero. So for me, it's 3 out of 7.
Yeah,
that's really good. For
exactly.
Strike.
And then not only that, they've got Umaru, which is a huge fucking name.
So for me, it's not but that's definitely
so it's pretty much 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
And then I know that other people are going to be big fans of the Girlfriend show and probably UQ Holder as well.
I don't know
Land of the Lustrous. I don't know who it's for.
I don't see any merit in that show besides having good voice acting. Besides that, it's just not. I just think it's bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, good on Amazon Strike. Hopefully they keep acquiring good things because you know what? I pay for it. I better fucking get some good shows out of it,
Yep.
On top of my Prime and then another thing. Yeah, fuck them. They better put some work in.
I agree. Cool. Okay, so next up, we're talking about Crunchyroll shows. So first up, I'm going to talk about Rainy Coco, made by EMT Squared. It's a digital manga. It's based off of a digital manga. It's like a 3-minute long episode.
Okay.
There's a guy who moved to Japan and he's starting a coffee shop. It's part of, I guess it's not really a chain, but maybe it is. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's coming over from Japan and he's starting a Japanese coffee shop in Hawaii, which Hawaiian coffee, it's a big thing. It's a whole deal.
They make good coffee.
And their deal there is that, they've got a Shiba Inu because that's a Japanese dog. So, Japanese dog, coffee store, and essentially nothing happens the first episode. It's just like, hey, I have a coffee shop here now. There's not much business yet. And he's talking to somebody over the phone. And that's the whole episode.
Does it look good at least? Or?
Yeah, it looks pretty all right. It's 3 minutes long. Check it out if you want to. I didn't really care for it. Cool. It just didn't have anything that grabbed me. Not a lot to say, but it takes place in Hawaii, and that's
interesting.
Very interesting.
All right, let's keep going.
Next up, Tsukipro the animation. It's made by PRA. Never ever heard of that studio, and it's based off of music.
Ooh, well, you know what music is?
I do. So apparently, Tsukipro is a band or something or genre. I don't fucking know what it is. But this is a show about a bunch of different bands, and it reminds me a lot of that boy band show that you had watched.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
J Project or something like that.
Yeah. J Project. So it's that.
Is it bad?
Yeah, I mean, no, I liked it more than J Project, but I didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
Honestly, the music wasn't that good to me, and they had a lot of characters, but they all kind of looked similar, but they weren't that interesting. But overall, the dialogue was fine, and I felt like it wanted this first episode. It kind of focused on this guy who cooks or whatever, and they're all friends hanging out in this big old apartment, and it reminded me of Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood.
Oh, okay. I like that.
but bad.
Ugh, never mind. I don't like that.
Exactly. I was like, I'm down with this if it were good.
But
like
it's not good.
It was really close. I feel like it was trying to copy a good thing. And instead of it being, because one of the big jokes about Final Fantasy 15 is, oh, they're a boy band.
Yeah,
and,
I hear that a lot.
Exactly.
Actually,
yeah, it's a huge fucking joke. And essentially, that's one thing where I was watching this and I didn't even think about that. I was like connecting it, and then I'm like afterwards, like. Stupid. That's about it. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that I know. But if you like boy bands, Japanese J-pop boy band stuff,
how's the animation in this? Okay,
it's all right.
All right, cool. Next up,
nothing special. Evil or Live, made by Howliners Animation League, and it's based off of a web manga.
Yeah,
this is a show that you were kind of excited about because it's a survival anime.
I'm so embarrassed.
Tell us some things.
I'm so embarrassed because I remember like really wanting to see this one, and because I was like, oh my god, it's got a dope ass name, it's got a dope ass premise. Oh, I can't wait to check it out. This show is fucking trash. It is so bad. I don't know how you felt about it, but this was fucking garbage. So essentially, the premise is it's that in the future, kids have this thing they call the like internet addiction or something like that, and which is like essentially means they're just like online all the time playing video games or texting or on Facebook, social media,
that's life,
and ignoring their parents at being rude. So parents can send them to this academy where they're supposed to set them straight. Essentially, it's this giant jail cell where they get to beat the shit out of kids and, you know, deprive them of anything that they love. And so our main character gets sent here, and he quickly wants to kill himself. He goes to the roof or whatever, and then he gets convinced not to. And the guy's like, "It's like you belong to me, and I'll take care of you, and I'll give you any girl you want." And he's like, "Really?" So he sees a girl like in the field that he went to school with. He's like, "I guess I want her." He's like, "Cool, let's make this happen." And that was the first episode. And the second
then he's like, "You're my dog, you're my bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you do anything that I want you to do."
But that's actually how the episode ends. And the second episode, we see what this guy, this like purple haired dude, you know, the guy, the master does. And essentially, he tells one guy to do one thing, which is like harass his chick, put his hand down her shirt and pull out a phone from her bra. And then he just rips her shirt off and like he's going to start like groping her. And so then the other girl pops in and decides to defend this girl with a knife. And then this guy throws a rock at this girl. He steps in. It's just this whole convoluted bullshit. And then we get to the point where now they're in the room all together. And the guy's just like, if you want your phone back, you have to, you know, have sex with my boy or whatever. And it's just like, no, and it's just like they settle on like trying to kiss. And she like pukes on him. And then they all puke together. It's just a bad show. Another thing that's really bad is it's shot like they kind of shoot like if it's like in a theater where like the top of the screen, the bottom screen, like cut out in black, you know. And they also cut to like live, like real action, like real film, like real footage of like this is a doll, and these are creepy rats, and this is like it's horrible. It's like one of the ugliest, most fucking worst things I've ever seen. This is trash. Honestly, Kyle might have to watch this. One of the worst shows in my opinion. This is really, really fucking hard to watch.
I mean, you're wrong, but that's okay.
It's what do you? No, I mean like it's really bad.
I saw the first episode,
and you liked it.
No, I didn't say I liked it. I'm just saying that Kyle's not going to watch this over another show that we're going to talk about.
It's a bad show.
This is a bad show.
It's really upsetting.
Another show that's fucking worse.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Next up.
Next up, Recovery of an MMO Junkie, made by Signal MD. It's based off of a web manga. I like it.
Cool.
I fucking like it. So check it out. There's this girl. She's 30. She decides that she doesn't want to go to school or anything anymore. She's fucking done. She's graduated. She's worked hard, and she just doesn't want to. So she becomes a NEET by choice.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's a thing that she really fucking stresses. So she starts playing this MMO. She's played another one before, but she starts playing this new one. She's checking it out, and she's like having a fun time. She makes a dude, and she's running around as a dude, and she's going and trying to fight this rat. And the rat keeps killing her. And this is like a boss of a dungeon. And then some girl's like, "Hey, like, do you want help? Because I don't know. It looks like you need some fucking help. You keep dying here." And she's like, "I mean, you know, I guess I could use some help." And they become friends. And she joins a guild, and she's like a part of this big community and whatnot. But she develops like a little crush on this girl online, right?
Ooh.
So, you know, their characters are kind of close to each other, but they've been distant or whatever. So she's talking to her guild leader about it. And, you know, she's a dude online, so the guild leader thinks that he's talking to a dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're talking about, like, I don't know, like,
bitches be crazy.
You know, whatever. And then he's like, what? No, like, I wanted to get this gift for her, so I've been working hard on getting that, and I wanted to keep it a surprise. It's like a Christmas present thing. And then she's like, hey, what are you doing for Christmas? Because, like, we should hang out and play games together. And then the girl comes back and she's like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm so down for that. And then we jump to the real world again, and she's just sitting in the dark all the time with like chips and soda and whatnot, and she's like, I don't know if I want to do this, and it just seems like a real like fucking
hassle. Yeah, looks like a hassle.
No, I no, not like that, but like she seems like she's
nervous.
Super. No, not.
What is she? Just say it.
Why do you keep interrupting me?
Because I'm assuming it's one of these words I'm saying. What is she?
So she is just a huge fucking nerd, and yeah, not at all.
They're all nerds. I don't know why it's an issue. Keep going.
No. She's just like a big nerd who sits at the computer all the fucking time, and then we see her out in the real world, and she's going shopping because she needs something to eat. She's going to the 7-Eleven and getting some chicken, because that's what
you do in Japan.
And it's like Christmas Eve or whatever, so she's going there and she's doing that. She gets her food and she comes back home, and then there was another guy that we got introduced to, and he's like talking to his friend, and his friend's like, hey man, you want to go to this Christmas party or whatever? He's like, nah, actually I kind of have like plans, so sorry. And he's like, I'm gonna go play games with friends. Turns out chick is the dude and dude is the chick.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, anyways, they're gonna be like both in gay relationships, and then they turn out and they're in like a straight relationship on accident, because he thinks that he's talking to a dude.
Yeah.
She thinks she's talking to a chick. And I don't know, there's something so fun about that. And it's goofy. The music is good, the animation's good, the jokes are good. All of it's fucking great.
How long is it?
It's a full length show. I think that they did a great job with all the characters and whatnot, and I think that you're actually really gonna like it. I would suggest
this happened one episode.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really well done. They did a great job. I really want to keep watching this. It wasn't like Sword Art Online good, where you start out and you're like, fuck, I want to see what else is going on. But it's like, this is going to be a really good show to watch weekly. And I think that you would enjoy it, probably with Sierra.
Yeah.
I think she would enjoy it too. So you guys should probably check this out.
Quick question. When they talk back and forth, is it like through text? Like, or is it like they voice
No, they're
thing?
talking, yeah.
And they can't tell they're one's a guy, one's a girl?
Oh, well, I mean, they're probably talking text over through the game, but it doesn't show that.
Okay,
they're just talking to each other.
So okay,
the characters.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Also, the dude has some fucking choice style.
Oh yeah,
some fucking great shit.
The dude that's dressed up as a chick.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And he as a person, or his character has choice style?
His character does.
Okay,
like,
cool.
Like she tried to do this whole like Christmas thing and whatnot, and she's on her dude character and everything, but then he's on his girl character, and she's all dressed up for Christmas and like it looks fucking great, and then she's like this just, I don't know, all the outfits in the show are fucking cool, and I hope that they change it as it goes on too, because that's how video games work.
Yeah.
You constantly change your outfits and MMOs.
What kind of game is it? Is it like a dungeon game?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I mean,
like a World of Warcraft kind of game?
Yeah, essentially, like, you're watching it and you're like, oh man, I want to see these cool monster fights, but you don't really get to. You get to see the monsters for like a second, because the huge focus in it is the characters.
Yeah.
So the one complaint that I have is I would like to see more monster fights.
Yeah.
And the monster fights that we did see, pretty cool.
Cool. Okay, next up.
Let's talk about Urahara, made by Shiogumi and EMT Squared. It's based off of a web manga.
Them again?
Yeah, dude, them again. This is a full-length show, and this is one of the most experimental shows that I've ever seen. I really, really liked some of the things that they did, but I did not enjoy the show.
Okay.
So this show takes place in Harajuku, Japan. Kind of the forefront of fashion in Japan, and they have like very unique styles and looks pretty cool. Essentially, now we're getting this like, I don't really know how to describe it, I guess. Kind of like fluffy sweets kind of style. Like, the phone case that Leander wants to get, where it's like all frosting and like whatnot. It's big, like bulky stuff going on. Can you kind of imagine what like a phone case would look like with that? Anyways, imagine that combined with 90s puffy jackets and like baseball caps and stuff.
It's like Candy Crush meets clothes.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I fucking like the style a lot, and I think that it definitely fits with Harajuku, of it being like the forefront of fashion and all that shit in Japan. So we get these 3 girls. One of them, the first one we're following, she's fucking cool. She is like one of the coolest characters in any show I've ever seen. She just fucking gets on her skateboard. She's going down, hanging out, looking fucking rad. Doesn't really give a shit.
She got a backward hat.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah. And then she like sees a cat and she stops and she's like, "Sup, cat?" and like going to pet it, and it's like really normal, but she just seems like super casual and really comfortable, and like I like that. I fucking love that as a character. And the other girls were less memorable, just because like I just remember thinking like she's actually cool. Like they tried to make a cool character and they made a cool character. It was awesome. So sometimes they're like, let's make a cool character.
Let's make him super edgy and give highlights and a scar.
This guy is really cool, but he's also like too cool for school. Yeah, and this girl is like fucking
the right
rad.
levels. Like,
I was so cool about her. Kind of like real person, kind of cool. Anyways, so they're having their little shop in Harajuku, and then aliens come and they start stealing these cultural icons, these like big things in culture. So they steal like the Great Tower of Pisa,
I think I remember
the Eiffel Tower, and they steal like the pyramids, and then they go to Japan and they're stealing shit there. And that's when these girls are like, "Oh fuck, that's like super not cool."
So take out these aliens.
Essentially, what happens is another girl comes down and she's like, she was on an alien ship or something, and then they get these powers that were in the alien ship that she took down or whatever. So they get these suits and these like fucking surfboards that they get to fly around on. And like one of them has like a gun that gets to blow up. They all have like different powers. Mm-hmm. And one of them's like a scouter. I'm like, "All right, guys, go ahead and do this." She's the coordinator. And it was dorky and it was kind of fun. But the thing that got me more than anything, I loved and hated the animation.
Ooh.
It was very weird. The style was really cool. The colors were really cool. I liked pretty much all that shit. And they had some really, really, really cool angles too. But they had too much going on, and I think it was way too intense to watch. The show didn't have enough that like led itself to being in that kind of art style. Like, it didn't have a good enough story going on. It didn't have good enough characters. When that was happening with the cool girl, I was like, I fucking get this. That it's happening with all of them. And it just got these really slanted angles and whatnot. And it has a lot of shots going on at the same time to where like you'll get a little corner is one shot and then a big area of the screen is another one. But like the focus is like, all right, you see the feet in the big one and then you see all the action in the tiny one and like stuff like that. And they're just putting like a really weird emphasis on things. I thought it was really, really interesting, and I don't want to keep watching it. I was pretty bummed when that happened, because at first I was like, this show's the fucking coolest. And by the end I was like, never mind, not for me.
Yeah, I remember seeing images for that. They're just like the outrageous stuff to fight the aliens or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? I would recommend to a lot of people to watch the first episode and kind of like check it out. Tell me what you think about it, because this is a really interesting show.
Cool, man. Next up,
we're going to be talking about Love is Like a Cocktail, made by creators in Pack, and it's based off of a web manga. This is another 3-minute long show. Essentially, we get this girl who doesn't, she doesn't want to go out and drink with her coworkers after work, but she fucking loves cocktails. Like, fucking love. So anyway, she gets home, and her
boyfriend?
Brother?
Some boy.
Brother. Anyways, this dude is like, "Hey, what's up? I'm like making this cocktail or whatever. You want any?" She's like, "I don't know." And then she has it. And she's like, "God, this is the fucking most delicious drink ever." And she gets super drunk and she's like a goofball suddenly.
You know what's funny?
That's the end.
Remember growing up, I thought cocktails were going to be something that tasted a lot better than what they really do.
And it's a bitter juice.
Yeah, I remember now as an adult, like I'll try a cocktail, like this is fucking gross. Like, but younger, I was just like, wow, an apple martini probably tastes like a melted Jolly Rancher. That sounds so good. It doesn't. It's fucking disgusting.
Nah, it does not.
All right, next up, man.
So we're going to talk about a little show I like to call Sengoku Nightblood. And I think most other people that watch the show probably like to call it that too. I don't really know. It's made by Typhoon Graphics and is based off of a game. And holy shit, is it based off of a game. We're looking at essentially Dynasty Warriors, which is the game where there's a bunch of fucking Dynasty Warriors from ancient Chinese tales. And they're fucking fighting.
Those are fun games though.
Yeah, I mean, the games are a fucking blast. And essentially we're watching similar looking characters, but they're all taking place in Japan's history, just blowing each other up. And we're like, oh shit, this is like Dynasty Warriors. But it doesn't have enough focus on the blowing each other up. And instead it has a focus on the main character is a girl who traveled back in time suddenly, somehow, that we don't know at all. She's just hanging out. And then, whoa, now she's back in time.
Cool.
And they're like, hey, what's up? Come with me. I'll keep you safe. But it's never like addressed that she's from the future. She's just wearing different clothes and came out of nowhere. So they're like, huh, what's going on? Interesting. And then there's a war going on between these vampire people who are the people that she's hanging out with. And they seem pretty good, pretty cool for the most part. There are these fox people and there are these dog people. And they're all in a war together against each other. And it's not good.
Cool. All right. Not going to watch it next time.
All right. So next up is Pikotaro's Lullaby, made by DLE. It's an original show. It's another 3-minute long show. And I don't really know what I fucking watched. So you remember when we watched that horror show that was like scary stories?
Oh, is this the one where it's like that weird dude? He's got like a bubble.
Yeah.
And he's drawn really weird. Yeah. Is it that one?
This is that one.
Yeah, but ew, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. So the first episode is there's cockroach man and he's hanging outside, and there's a grasshopper man with like a real man inside and snowy outside, and he's knocking on the window like, hey, excuse me,
let me in, I'm a cockroach.
Yeah, no, they like know each other, and he's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? It's like, I'm just I'm outside and I need to go inside, and like, do you mind if I come in? And then it lasts for 3 minutes and he eventually dies, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Cool. Not gonna watch that one.
Yeah. Don't recommend that to anybody. Next up, Garo, Vanishing Line, made by MAPPA. It's an original show, and you are going to talk about it.
Yeah, so this is a show about like we meet our main character right off the bat. He's just beating the shit out of this weird looking monster, and it's like, whoa! Like honestly, the animation for the fighting I thought was super clean,
really good.
And I was like, wow, it's really action packed. Let's see where this goes. And then we kind of go to the next. We meet our next other character is a girl, and she gets tricked into meeting this guy who's going to give her a fortune. And then he tries to eat her. And
good old fashioned switcheroo.
And then our guy shows back up again and starts beating the shit out of this weird monster guy, but he gets away. And then he kind of like just invites her to a diner, and like they're eating, like, hey, you like tacos or steak or whatever, and they go get some food, and like
that was the biggest steak I have ever seen.
That was a weird looking steak. Those were some good looking tacos too.
Good daggos,
right? And good daggos. So like. He kind of like just nonchalantly explains. I was like, "Oh yeah," he goes like, "I'm a knight. I beat up those things called horrors or whatever. They're essentially like the manifestation of like humans when they succumb to their greed or their envy or their rage or their lust or whatever. Yeah. They're monsters. I kill them. That's kind of my thing." And then he has a ring that talks, and he's just like,
"Oh, his little skull ring."
Yeah.
Is like,
yeah. And he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's just like, and he goes, "Oh, this is my partner. He's kind of an asshole." And yeah, and he's like, he says he's going to use her as bait to like lure out this horror guy.
Fuck. Classic.
So he does, and then he has like an awesome fight with this monster. And he uses his motorcycle, which is run like controlled by the ring or whatever. Just giant, over like outlandish, anime as fuck motorcycle. He has an anime as fuck sword, and then he fucking digi spirits evolutions with the fucking motorcycle and turns into this awesome, crazy looking knight guy. And they have an awesome fight on a bridge, and they blow it up. And yeah, that was the first episode, and I liked it. I really enjoyed the fighting, the animation. There's 3D animation elements in it, and I liked it. I appreciate it. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't ugly, because there are shows that do 3D animation properly. Like they don't do it too much, not too heavy handed. And in this one, even though it's 3D animation, I still feel like the fighting scenes there's some fluidity to it, and it was nice. I like the character a lot. I said he reminds me like a big old like Bolin, kind of just a nice guy who's doing his job. This is from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then we also get to meet at the very last episode another character who's like in this like trench cloak, and he's got like white hair and like dark skin. He's anime looking as fuck. And the next episode, he gets to be a part of it, and he's also, I'm assuming, kind of a night thing. Yeah. And I don't know what the organization they're a part of, like who's teamed up with what, but they meet at the same diner, and like they get missions from whoever the boss is, from the waitress, and the guy always like he'll clap his hands together and like does a little prayer whenever he sees like this chick with like big breasts, like he's like just thanking the gods for them.
Right.
I don't know, man. I enjoyed this show. I'm gonna keep watching it. this is one of the shows where I liked the music for it, and it had like
the
really,
music was pretty cool,
like heavy metal vibes to it, and I was like, I'm not a metal kind of guy, but I was like, it's super appropriate for the show. Yeah, I like this show a lot. I'm gonna recommend this to. I know specifically like a buddy of mine. I'm like, yo, dude, this is the show for you. He's gonna fucking love it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think it's for everybody.
My biggest complaint is I know that you really like the main character.
Yeah, you don't like him.
He just feels too like he's trying. I think that they tried to make him like an American badass.
Yeah, and I think he is an American badass. And I was like, cool, man. He reminds me of like one of those old like 90s like action heroes or whatever. Like,
and I guess maybe that's my problem. I don't really like those kinds of characters too much. Because the show, I really liked a lot of elements to it. A lot of it felt really real, but he felt ridiculous. And I think I would have liked it more if it was more real and he like joked around in a different way. Because he was just like, he did feel like a 90s action hero. And like,
it was like combination like of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Arnold Schwarzenegger and like fucking Bruce Willis, like all of them together. Like this is essentially who he was, and he was just kind of, I eat meat, I eat steaks, and I ride my motorcycle. I'm a badass. I'm a knight. I was like, and his name is Sword. It's like,
but I felt like if they were trying to make a character of a 90s like action hero, I feel like that would have been better. But I think for this, they were trying to make like a cool character. And he was too edgy and cool for me. Like I think that's my impression, and I totally get like your angle on it
for sure.
And I wish I could see it from your angle because it was a fucking cool show. And I was bummed I didn't like the main character that much.
We actually get to see in the second episode, like I'm pretty sure they're for sure in the United States because we see like another guy who turns into the monster, and it's like pretty dark. Like he's a guy that's like has like paralyzed. He was like an Olympic runner, and all he wants to do is like run again. And so he gets turned into this really scary looking running monster, and he gets helped by the other guy to take him down with the big ass sniper.
Good old fashioned,
cool looking gun. Everything, like all their gear is like super like whoa. That's fucking metal as fuck. I like the show. I'm gonna keep watching it. Let's keep going.
Nice. Next up, we're going to talk about Anime Guitaris, made by WAO World. It's an original anime as well. I liked the show. I did not expect to like it at all, and it kind of surprised me, and I want to keep watching it. This is going to be my kind of like casual slice of life type show. So the main character is just some fucking girl, and she's like nice and chill and whatever, and who cares? She's almost nothing, but she's really sweet, and she'll just like have a good time with whatever it is. And then we meet like class president type girl, and she seems perfect and whatnot. And I guess the main character said something that caught her attention about anime, and this girl comes up and is like, hey, do you watch anime? And she's like, yeah, I mean, like, I've seen some anime. Like, yeah, I like anime. And she's like, okay, this show? And, like, goes off and, like, too many details. It would be like us talking about a show, talking about the studios and all the other shit that they've done,
like a bunch of nerds,
and just fucking, like, going hard. And the girl's like, no, I've never heard of that. Yeah, exactly. Just saying, like, really basic things that she's seen. She's like, oh, well, like, it's so nice having somebody to talk about anime with that, like, won't judge me for it. That's so fucking cool. And, yeah, so this, like, student council lady is just so fucking down with having a new friend she could talk about. And this other girl, she's down for whatever. She's like, yeah, great, cool, dude. Like, we're friends. This is awesome, whatever. And then they were going to go and check out the anime club, and it turns out it doesn't exist anymore, so they have to make it.
Okay.
And, the main character, it almost feels like it's a more playful Haruhi. Okay. Because Haruhi had, like, an overall kind of, like, story it wanted to tell in some way or another. Yeah. And this is just, like, a slice of life fun time, not necessarily, like, huge bitch. It's like... character doesn't know anything about anime, she's gonna fucking join an anime club, and I get a kick out of it.
Do you think they're gonna like use real anime in this world, or like just
they've referenced anime, but they haven't? It's one of those things like WickDonald's and
well, yeah, but I'm saying like like how like in this one they're gonna be like like if she's educating her on like what anime is, like you've probably seen this one and check out this one, and there's like. They might use real references because in what's it called in this Last Hero one, in the second episode, the friend that goes sees the other guy like in his room. They talk about anime and they talk about One Piece. I'm like, oh, that happens every now and then. Yeah. But then they talk about Gantz. I was like, really? Like, and they talk about Shonen, and I was like, oh, this is actually like in a real world. Like, So I'm just kind of curious if they're going to go that way, but with the Whack Donald's probably not.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
we'll see.
They've made a couple of little references, but cool. I'm excited about the show. It should be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it. It's just just like going to be a casual watch, and I would recommend this to you and Sierra.
Okay.
I think that you might be into it, and if you're not, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's more of an easy to watch casual show. And when I went into it, I'm looking at it, I'm just like, this is just one of those girl animes. It's
I love girl animes.
And then as it like went on, I was pretty quickly like, this is fast, this is funny, the music's great, the animation's great. Like, I like this show a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So I'm gonna keep watching that.
Cool. Next up,
We're gonna talk about Two Car by Silverlink, and it's an original anime. Let me tell you about this show.
okay.
I thought it was gonna be fucking dumb because we got a couple of girls and they're in motorcycle suits and they
Which
look,
aren't cars, right?
No, they are emphasizing on them boobs, like whoa, right? So I was not like feeling it from the just first shot that I saw.
You judge this book by the cover.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. But I watched it tonight, and
Yeah,
I
you
liked
did.
it. I was really surprised.
Cool.
So the main characters are these two girls that used to race together, and throughout the whole first episode, it's like this exhibition race. It's like the first race in a while between all these different kinds of people, and they all live on an island that has no speed limits because this is the island that people go and learn how to like do this bike riding, and it's like a different style where one person is the driver and the other person shifts the weight.
Oh, okay.
So they have to lean far out of the cart because there's kind of a cart, but you also like hang on and wrap yourself around the vehicle really
Yeah.
weird. So there's a lot of like having to lean weird ways or like getting in really tight to make like faster kinds of like movements and whatnot, or leaning out really far if you're trying to make a turn super quickly. And it was cool. I did not expect it to be that cool. So the whole first episode, we're getting these flashbacks about these two main character girls that apparently fucking hate each other. But, you know, they started out and they were in last. I'm going to ruin the first episode because whatever's the first episode, who gives a shit? And they're in last place, and nobody really expects them to do that well. And then they wind up finishing in first because they work with each other. And the only reason they were doing so poorly is because they were fucking mad. They were just like, I have to work with this bitch. And then after they win, everyone's like celebrating. And they're like, oh man, what are you guys going to do? And they just kind of look at each other.
Go to McDonald's.
No. Why would they go to McDonald's?
Well, usually that's the joke, like, oh, I'm going to Disneyland now or whatever.
Fuck that. They punch each other in the heads and they both knock each other out.
Oh, a double KO?
Yeah.
What?
So that's how it fucking ends. They're like, oh shit. Had a little bit of background about their instructor, who's like the only dude that was involved with this sport. And
Is it an all-woman sport?
I don't really know. But they never showed his face or anything. They just had him like helping them out. So one of them was the driver, and then he was the one that was shifting the weight or whatever as the passenger. And she's like, he understands me. Like, he knows what I need in order to make these things happen. Mm-hmm. And then as the driver, he was helping out the girl who was like shifting her weight and whatnot. And she's like, he understands me. And they're both mad at each other, like, why don't you understand me?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know? And yeah, it was cool. They have like a bunch of anime trope type characters in it that are the other racers. They have two twins that are exactly the same, so they're able to think alike and do what they need to do. There's like one character that's like, don't fuck it up, we're gonna be the best, you are gonna win this.
Well, that is, yeah, that
and
is.
then the other one's like, I mean, I'll do my best, like I'll
try.
Yeah. And then she was like, we are gonna win. She's like, I'll do my best.
Nice.
Like,
Great anime tropes.
You know, just some generic type things like that. But overall, I thought that the characters seemed pretty good. The sport seems really interesting. More than anything, I want to see more of that, and I want to see what they have going on, because there seems like they're going to be a lot of like, oh, this is that special technique. It's like, oh, cool, I want to see that.
How's the animation on it?
It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of 3D, but not a whole lot. And overall, it looks pretty great. Not a lot of fan service. It's just got like the main characters have boobs that are like a little bit bigger than they should be, probably.
Cool, man. That's
like,
how they distribute their weight, dog.
I don't know, man. In sports, you gotta.
It's all in the boobs. It's all in the boobs.
So yeah, it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun show, though. I want to see more. Clearly, it's going to start off this second episode with like, well, I guess we got to learn how to be friends, but
hopefully,
fuck you.
Yeah,
you know,
cool. Next up.
Shit. So we are going to talk a little bit about DS Irae, ACGT. It's based off, or that was the studio. It's based off of a visual novel, and I don't even know what to say about this fucking mess.
Yeah, I watched the episode 0, which you didn't know there was an episode 0, apparently.
Yeah, because who the fuck watches episode 0?
It was there.
So
I watched episode 0 and episode 1, which is one that you watched. Yeah, the first episode, it was like this weird thing about like there's like Nazis times, and like they need help from this guy who was like what's the word? He knows the future. He has premonitions or whatever.
Yeah.
And then something happens, and I don't know, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Second episode is like the kid is having like flashbacks of being scared of like the guillotines, and he's seeing dead people, and he's singing weird guillotine songs. And
we've all been there.
And then these people start showing up. They're just like, we're gonna kill everybody: women, men, dogs, cats, their puppies, and their And then it just I don't know. I don't know what this show is. I watched both episodes. I'm still confused as to what the fuck's going on. I just think this is trash. I don't think it looks that good either.
I don't think it looks that good. I don't think it's that interesting. I don't like the characters. The first episode felt like a fever dream.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
There's like that clip where you see the kid is just like, he doesn't remember what happened. And apparently, like there's some people are dead around him and he's holding a knife. I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? I was like, ugh. I'm not going to keep watching this. I don't even bother with this.
Yeah, Kyle said he was kind of interested in seeing where it goes just because of the ending, because it like hit on those notes where it's like weird fucked up religion and some dark cult shit going on, and he was kind of into that. But honestly, overall, I was not convinced. This show doesn't do it for me. Apparently, this is like kind of one of the bigger titles this season. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not feeling it. Next up.
Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth, made by MSC. It was based off of a visual novel. I don't really know where to begin with this show either. So I had watched it pretty late last night, and we've got like this pretty big cast, which is what makes it difficult. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't know where to begin with this, because there's so many other shows that have kind of like covered all of this stuff. It just it didn't feel convincing whatsoever. I'm gonna go ahead and look up a more comprehensive plot for it really quickly, because what I could tell you is like super vague. I also watched it really late, so probably a bad thing that I'm talking about this, but that's okay. So this is it's weird. I don't know. Have you ever seen or played a visual novel at all?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen them. I know what they are.
Yeah, so it's weird whenever they adapt them. I'm still not used to it. That's, I think, what was so confusing about this, because there's so many different ways that stories can go. So essentially, there is a girl who is this princess type lady. She has gems in her chest, which are poisonous.
Ew.
So anybody that touches her gets like melted. And there's a guy who's like really fucking cool, and he just sneaks in and steals the princess from these other people, and he's like, I'm gonna help you guys out, whatever. And he uses a smoke bomb that like makes everyone else pass out. And then this other guy is with him, and he's more goofy, but he had like all this gear that he was prepping, and he's the car driver dude. Anyways, they're escaping. They get back to this mansion, and it's the scientist man's mansion. And then you realize like, oh, this might be based in like real times, but like in the past. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's kind of funky. And he's an inventor, and he makes all this shit that like helps them do all the weird things that they need to do. And essentially, this dude just needs the crystals in her, but doesn't realize that exactly. And he's trying to help somebody else out. It was convoluted. It was weird.
Not going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it. Okay. I was not convinced at all. It just felt like generic and weird. I don't know. It didn't do much for me.
Cool. Next one.
It was forgettable.
If it's that bad, yeah, let's just keep going.
It was just really forgettable is all. The next one's even worse, though. It's Taisho Mibusline Chichai-san, made by Studio A-Cat, and it's based off of another visual novel. There's a dude, and he looks real good. He looks like real good fucking royal shit. I don't fucking know. He's on a train, and this is another short style show. he's on a train, and then when he gets to the new place, oh fuck, he's a chibi, and then nobody's treating him like he's a chibi, and then he goes and meets the nice people, and they're like, hey, what's up, man? And then they don't treat him as a chibi, but apparently everyone's also a chibi, but they can't see each other as chibis or some shit. It was fucking dumb. Got nothing more on this one. This one was really short, really confusing. The name sucks. Blech. Tell me about this really cool show called Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World, the animated series, because there have been a few Kino's Journeys, made by Lerch, based off of a light novel.
Yeah, so you and I talked about this in the past, Kino's Journey. I've never seen Kino's Journey, like the actual like older series, but I've seen bits of it, and you know, from what I gathered, I remember like hearing the concept of it and being like, this sounds kind of fucking stupid, you know, like it just seems kind of absurd. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this new one because I'm down to give it a fair shake, and people always swear it's a good story, so let's check it out. I really like it. It's about a girl who kind of just doesn't dress up like a girl. She just wears like, it's like, well, she kind of looks like dressed up like a dude. And I mean, I know why she's dressed like that, but I mean, that's not. We'll find out later in this animated series why or whatever. But essentially, she rides in on her bike, like her motorcycle, through this like just vast countryside to just go to find different places, and she stays in these countries, which are like, essentially, kind of feel like
they're like towns.
They use the word countries, but it's more. I'd say they're towns or counties, or like they're not that big. But again, we don't know what world this is based in, because it's definitely not based on the real world. So we actually don't know what the size of the actual landscape of the world is, right? So for all we know, there could be like so much more land than there is in the real world. Anyways, it's kind of a fantastical story because like Kino's motorcycle can speak, like it has sentience and talks to her, and I thought that the gist of it was that it only talked to her, but it talks to other people, and other people don't seem to freak out. And I was like, huh, okay. So there's other like fantasy elements in this world. I don't know how heavy they are, but if there's a talking motorcycle, you can guarantee to see other talking things in the show. So in the first episode, Kino goes to this city, this country where killing isn't prohibited. And she learns about it because like she runs to this guy, and he's like, I can't wait to go to this new country. I'm gonna fucking do whatever I want and kill all the people I want and blah blah blah. So it's kind of like I felt kind of like nervous about her going to this this country or whatever. Yeah. And she's there for 3 days, and every day she has interactions with different people. She's the market guy or the old lady or the waitress, and then this old dude, and it's like, and she always sees like them holding weapons of some sort, and it's like, is this it? Is this when they're gonna pop off and they're gonna try to kill her? That's what I was waiting for, and it never really happened. I was like, okay, cool, which was super stressful because like Kino, she has 2 guns, that her cannon,
fucking cool.
Yeah, her cannon and her, I think she calls one the woodsman. Yeah, and she's always practicing her draw. And she sleeps holding the gun to her chest, like ready to fucking pop off at any time. So she's down, and she's killed people before. So an older guy like says like, hey Kino, why don't you stay here? Like you know what we're about or whatever, And she's just like, you know what, I can't. I got to keep going on my journey. And she's all just about keep traveling. He's like, fine, I understand that, And then the guy that she ran into, like, at the beginning of the episode comes up, is like, hey, it's you. He's like, give me all your shit. I was like, I'm going to take it all. I'm going to sell it. And what I don't sell, I'm going to keep for myself. And I'm going to start my new life here with that. And then she's just like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. And she's just like, he like holds out a gun. Like, I'll kill you right now. He's just like, I wouldn't do that or whatever. He's like, no, I'm going to kill you. And then she's like, okay, I'm still not going to give you my stuff. And then the entire like town comes together and kills this guy. Yeah. And they explain the concept to him. Like, look, it's not that, killing is like approved of, it's not like we're saying go kill whoever you want. We're saying that like if you kill somebody, there's like no penalty to it, but we're not murderers. And the reason our civilization, our lives are as peaceful as it is because we all understand that like when there's a bad seed, like we get rid of it. And you're a bad person and you can't be a citizen here. And so they kill him. And none of them, and they went, it's like when we kill somebody, we kill them all together, which was like super fucking dark. But I really liked that concept. Like, I mean, not like to practice in real life, but I was like, oh, so that's. The reason I was so nervous was like I didn't need to feel that way because Kino seemed to learn. She understood it before I did. She's like, oh, okay, they're not murderers. They're humans, and they just want to live in a peaceful, country or whatever. And they just want to make sure to get rid of all the bad seeds, and they did. And then she leaves and runs to another guy, and they start have a small conversation like they did before, and he's just like, you know what? He's like, you probably like the county up there. He's like, are you sure? He's like, I've killed a lot of people, and like just to survive or whatever. It's like, you know what? I think you're gonna fit, right in. I think you'll be fine. And like it's kind of like a sweet story. I feel like. In the second episode, I know you didn't watch. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because it's really good.
Yeah.
But she goes to another country or whatever, and in this country, she was told like, oh, you should go here. Like it's beautiful. There's running water. Everybody's super nice. But when she gets there, it's like, okay, guess up. You're now a part of the battle royale. People who show up here who want to be citizens, they have to fight to the death for 3 days. And, if you survive, you become a citizen of our country and you get to make any law you want. And she's just like, what? He's just like, yeah, that's just the rules of the way things are. And she's like, she has to fight for her life, which I was like, okay, Kino, I see you.
This is all you.
Yeah. Which is like,
Yeah.
And then again, it takes a total Kino journey kind of twist to it. Like the way, it's all played out. Mm-hmm. I really like it. I really like the show. It looks really good. There is 3D animation in it with the motorcycle every now and then, and she will even look 3D for herself when she's riding the motorcycle, which I think they do a good job of. But yeah, I can't wait to watch all of this. I'm excited to see more of it. It's super fun.
It reminds me a lot of Mushishi.
Yeah.
In that it's episodic. He's traveling. He's taking care of each thing in each episode, and even though Kino's journey, like the description of it, sounds like it's kind of like intense and there's a lot going on. There's not a lot going on. It's like pretty low key for the most part.
I mean, I'd say more stuff goes on in the second episode.
Well, that's the thing though. Like when there's action, the action's good. And
it's
like
on
really
point,
intriguing. But there's a lot of just like calm.
Yeah, she's super cool, calm, collected. She's just a chick that wants to ride a motorcycle and discover what the world is. And I have so much props for her. I think she's an awesome character, and I love everything about the show. And I can't wait to...
Another show that Lerch is doing where it's like cute shit that gets real dark.
Yeah, it's on point, man. Great show.
Cool. Next, we're going to be talking about a little show called A Sister's All You Need, made by Silverlink. It's based off of a light novel. This is the show that Kyle will be reviewing.
It's the worst show ever.
This season. So it starts out, and it's fucking like balls to the wall. I talked about this before.
Yeah.
So you're in this like hentai essentially, where the guy is laying in bed and he's got this naked little girl on top of him. It's like, brother, wake up.
Yeah.
And just like all this crazy shit where she's just like, hey, wake up. I made you breakfast. And like talking with this stupid fucking little
kitty accent.
Yeah. And she's super fucking young. And then he like goes and he washes his head in his sister's bathwater, like used bathwater. And then dries himself with her bra or something like that, and then goes to breakfast, and she's like, yeah, I made you breakfast from my eggs and like with a glass of my milk. And it's like nice and weird and disturbing. And then he has like a little bit of ketchup on his lips, so she pulls out like a pair of panties from this parallel universe that are like used panties, and then he wipes his lip with that. And it turns out that this is the book that the main character is writing. So there are a lot of jokes throughout where he's just like, fucking, I love sisters, bro. I fucking love sisters. They're so fucking great. I love sisters. Just want to fuck my sister. And he doesn't have a sister.
But he wants to fuck his sister.
Yeah, like the whole fucking show, he's just doing that. Like, sisters are the sexiest things ever. And then there's this girl who really liked his stories and stuff from before. And she's like,
I'll be your
looks
sister.
up to him completely. And then she also writes books or manga. I think it's manga. And she is like an amazing writer. She wrote this great story that made like everyone cry, and they're like, this is beautiful, you're so good. And then
she likes
just
his
like
smut.
Yeah, and she likes, well, I don't know what he writes aside from, what he was writing there. But she is essentially just like, I want to suck your dick like over and over, just like let's fuck the whole time. And he's just like, no.
If you were my sister.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the whole fucking thing. She's like, I'm gonna fuck you, and he's like, if you were my sister, let's fuck. But they're doing this in front of their other friends that it's just really uncomfortable the whole goddamn time. It's super uncomfortable.
Sounds like the perfect show for Kyle.
It's real bad. It's pretty fucking explicit. It's got lots of panties, lots of boobs, all the shit that you need in order to feel nice and uncomfortable watching this.
Nice.
But, I saw that original clip where it was the intro of the whole fake universe where he's like naked 14-year-old or whatever. It's ugh. Anyways, I saw that, and then people in the comment section were like, haha, this show's fucking great. Also, like, it's totally different. This clip is different than the rest of the show, so you should probably check out the show.
You were telling me that,
and then make your own opinion based off of that, because this doesn't really do the show any justice, but it's a funny clip in context to the show. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's don't fucking justify that shit. Like, you were
don't try to justify
so wrong.
it.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Yeah.
So, bad show.
Long story short, Kyle will be reviewing this show because my girlfriend is Shobitch, has got nothing on this. Let me tell you that right here and now.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a pretty bad show.
Yeah, my girlfriend is Shobitch. It's done in a cutesy, playful style.
It actually looks nice.
Yeah, like there are a lot of things in it where I didn't watch it, but I've seen like the little pieces and I've seen the web comic before, and it's okay. It was not as like grotesque or like raunchy as All You Need Is a Sister.
Yeah,
which is such a fucking normal name. Oh my god, or a sister is all you need.
Silverlinks. So, what else do they do?
Silverlink has also worked on some other shit.
I'm just trying to remember. It sounds familiar. It sounds like they're just not good at stuff. Anyways, let's do the next one, yeah?
Okay, I'm down to talk about this. So King's Game, made by the Studio 7. I've never heard of them before.
Yeah.
And it's based off of a goddamn novel, which I guess... Because
it's like a phone novel.
There are a lot of different variations of King's Game.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this one is a phone novel or if it's...
the manga,
an actual novel or whatever it is. Because King's Game has previously been... it was a story that was told over a phone, like the periodic, like, hey, I'll send out like a text,
mass text,
story, and we've talked about this previously on the show.
Well, because we reviewed the King's Game
live action movie,
which was bad. So I'm a huge fan of King's Game. It's one of my favorite mangas that I've read. It's a survival manga. People die because they have to play this game. They get messages from the king. King has to say, this is the order. Do it or be punished. And then if they do it, they're fine. If they don't, they get punished. And usually the punishment's death. And there's always a formula to these stories. It starts off with people playing and then like not really believing it, kind of going along. And then things get a little too serious. Like one of the things will be like, grope this person's boobs or lick this person's foot. And they're just like, I'm not going to do that or whatever. And then someone dies and then this shit gets fucking insane. And I enjoy them. So watching the live action, trash, right? And the biggest reason was because it was like made for TV and there was like no budget and it was just horrible.
And they just couldn't do what King's Game wanted them to do.
Absolutely. So I was really excited to watch this anime because, like I said, it's one of my favorite mangas. And so I start watching it, and I've told you before, the King's Game, the manga is broken up into 3 parts. The original one was King's Game, and then there was that came out later was King's Game Origins, which was a prequel to that. And then there was a last one, and the last one was a combination of like it was after the first one, and it was the one survivor from that one, from the original one, and then the daughter of the one survivor from the first one are in this one together. Like they're like one's a transfer student, the other one's like a regular student, and the King's Game starts again. And I started reading that one, but for some reason I don't know if it stopped printing or whatever, but I can't find more than a chapter of it. So I was really hoping to tell the story of like the King's Game, like the one that the original one, not Origins, the one I know, the one I like. I only like both of the Origins and original. And what led me to believe that was the image like on the poster for like the thing, like the cover art was of the King's Game and like the original characters. Like, oh, cool, I'm gonna watch this. No, we start off and the kids. And it's the main character being transferred into the new school or whatever. And so it's the story from that last one that I don't know what's going to happen. So for a second I was like, maybe like it's fine. Like I kind of know enough context to watch the show. It's not that hard to get a hold of it. I'll enjoy it, see what happens. And it's not good. Like the first episode, so many people die like right off the bat. Like it's crazy how quickly people die in the show, and they die like grotesque deaths, and they're not animated well. It's really poorly done. I looked into it. I wanted to find out like, why is it so bad? Like, how can they fuck up this bad? So I look into who 7 is, like the only anime that I know they've ever made. Remember that anime back in like, I don't know if it was last season or season before that, where it was like about a guy who was like, it was a really short one. He was kind of like a time traveler. He played a banjo. He had a robot and he saved like a princess, and everything would happen super fucking quick. I don't know if like the colors were outlandish. I can bring it on my phone. I just don't remember what the name of the show was.
Fuck, man, I have no idea.
That's the only anime that I saw on their list, because they've made stuff. That's the only anime I've seen on the list that I recognize. And then the rest of the stuff was all hentai. They make so much hentai. Trip.
That makes a lot of sense.
So much hentai. This is the people what they make. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So what really bums me out is that this great property, in my opinion, this great story, got picked up by a really fucking shitty hentai studio, and they're like, we can make anime.
Hey, they might be a great hentai studio. You don't know.
They're really good, really shitty studio that makes hentai. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Because I'm not going to watch their hentai and be like, well, actually, the hentai's pretty good. But point
this is great hentai.
I don't think they know how to make an anime. So they ruined it. It really bums me out. I watched the first episode. It was trash. I watched the second episode. It got a little bit better because they showed one of my favorite clips of the original anime. Like they're now mixing they're mixing the stories together, which I think is a huge mistake because there's so many characters in this new one, and now they're adding characters from the last one, right? Like from the original story, and like I don't know how you're gonna keep track of everybody. And they add this story of this kid who he got the text with the girl saying like you have to have sex, but the other girl already had a boyfriend. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And so this guy said, so he had sex with the other guy's girlfriend, and then the next day the king's thing was like, okay, you are now the king. You do whatever you want. It's your authority. So he tells the guy to go hang himself. So the main character, his friend, decided to spend the night with him at his house to take care of him, keep an eye on him. So they're like playing music, rocking out. They become good friends. Midnight hits, nothing happens. And like, okay, we survived the King's Name. Like midnight at 01, dude, kid hang himself. It was like so fucking dark. And I like that they're willing to like bring parts of that original story into this. But I hate the way everything's turning out. And we're meeting this new character. And the character in this one who was the new love interest super took me by storm because now she's like a total psychopath. And she's just like, she doesn't get what she wants. And so she's like, okay, let's have sex right now, you and me. Like, let's do it. And he's just like, what? He's like, yeah, take off your fucking clothes. We're going to have sex because that's what the king wants. And I'm going to survive this game no matter what. And then she like accuses the main character of like assaulting her. And everybody's beating the shit out of the main character. It's just really bad trip. And it makes me so upset.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened in the first episode too. Just everyone was beating the shit out of him.
They beat the shit out of him in the first one. And in the second one, they beat the shit out of him again.
I'm sorry that a manga that you love didn't turn into a good show or movie or anything.
Well, yeah, what sucks is, it's still a good manga. Nothing's ever going to take away from that. It just sucks that I can't recommend the anime or the movie because they're both trash.
Dude, true that.
Next up,
Juni Taisen Zodiac War. It's made by Graphinica and it's based off of a novel and it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
I'm 3 episodes deep in this one.
I've only seen the first one so far, and the end of that, I was like, oh my God, I need to watch more. Mm-hmm. But then I had to watch so much anime, so I didn't really get to. This is about the 12 zodiac.
The Chinese zodiacs, right?
12 Chinese zodiacs. Yeah, so, we got the horse, we got the dog, and we got the rat, and we got the sheep, and we got the dragon, and we got the snake, and we got the monkey, and we got the chicken. Did I already say chicken? No. Cock? We got the...
Yeah, keep going.
We got the boar, and we got the bunny, and we also have the other thing that I forgot, which is the 12th one right now.
Did you say tiger?
Ox.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, so one saving grace of this season is like I'm really bummed out that King's Game isn't working out, and I'm kind of not as bummed out, disappointed that Evil and Live, whatever, not good.
Yeah,
but this is
like 1,000 times fucking better.
This is a straight up battle anime, survival anime, where it's just like 12 people that represent different types of zodiacs to just come and fight to the death, and I'm just like, yes, this is awesome.
And this is one of those shows that I don't want to spoil either because if you say even one character who dies, which somebody dies in the first episode, right off the fucking bat.
First episode someone dies, second episode like 2 people die, third episode 1 person dies.
So you like can't say who's dying.
People are just dying back. Like this is one we can't review every week. We're just gonna say we watched it and whether we liked the episode or not, essentially. But in this episode, we get to meet a lot of the characters, right? Not in depth. In the second one,
you get to meet the very first episode. You get a lot of detail about one character, and then it's kind of like an introduction into the whole thing because she's the last one to show up. So it's kind of focusing on her, and essentially the gist of it is they swallow these giant fucking crystals that are actually poison. They don't realize that when they swallow them. And their goal is to be the last one living so that they will get the antidote. Yeah, they collect all the 12 crystals because if not, the poison's going to dissolve in their stomach and they'll poison themselves and die. Real quick.
I'm not going to spoil this for anybody. I'm not going to say who's dead or who's not dead. But I do want to point out, I really like the character designs in a lot of these. I think,
oh fuck, they're so cool.
One of my favorite character designs is the rat. He's got this weird like
really
ear
cool
thing, and he's kind of like the space looking suit kind of thing going on. For myself, for my money, I want like the Ox to win because he's got like this matador kind of thing going for him, and everybody calls like we quickly learned in the first episode like he's like the forerunner, like he's like number one hands-on favorite to win, and they call him like the genius of slaughter or whatever. And I was like, whoa. And then the rooster chick, like the cock, which is my zodiac sign for Chinese. I was like, I saw her, I was like, gosh, she looks so lame. Like she's gonna suck. Honestly, she's pretty fucking badass. I was like super stoked to see what she can do. Great show. You should try to catch up as soon as you can.
Yeah, I'm so excited. This is definitely like, it might be my favorite of the season just because it's like a show where you need to find out what happens next.
Absolutely. I think it's probably I like Kino's Journey more than this one. It's my favorite so far. But two things real quick about the show. One thing, the art style is a little different. It's really like hand drawn, a little scratchy at some points. Like you see like the way they move. I mean, it's great animation. They're really fluid when they fight and stuff. But you do see like there is a difference between what the background looks like and what they look like. You can totally tell that if you like give it a second, just look at it. Secondly, one thing I'm not a fan of is we were talking earlier about how there's shows that successfully have two people talk over each other and you can totally follow along. I don't feel like Zodiac Wars does a good job of that because there'll be a conversation going on of the main, like the person who's talking, like, oh, I'm talking to this person, but they'll also have an inner monologue going on at the same time. And they're kind of both at the same level of volume. And it's really hard for me to keep along for myself personally. So I don't think they do that very successfully. It's still a great show. And I can't wait to see how it all ends.
Yeah, right on. I'm very excited about it. Next up, we're going to talk about Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond, made by Bones, and it's based off of a manga.
Cool. So to see this one, you have to watch Blood Blockade Battlefront, which is the first season. The second season, we just pick up where we left off. Essentially, we're back with his name is Leonardo Gate, I think his name. Leonardo or something, whatever. He's our main character. He's working delivering pizzas, and then we get introduced back to Helsing's Lot or whatever, which is New York. That's now like surrounded by a bunch of monsters and demons and a bunch of crazy shit. And everything's just insane. One thing I will say about this show is I really like the soundtrack for this season. Last season had a more jazzier feel. This one has more like a upbeat hip hop kind of vibes to it. It reminds me a lot of like Samurai Champloo kind of feels.
I'm down.
It's super fun, super action packed. We were reintroduced to all the characters from the last season, like all our favorites who are part of the secret organization that their job is to protect the city. And the president from the outside world, the outside nation, is is brought in to try to build a bridge or, reconnect contact with the city. And for some reason, I don't know, it wasn't really explained, but his head is missing. Like he's got a body and his head is just like in a suitcase somewhere else. And there's like, it kind of reminds me of like the Futurama things,
Yeah.
And Leo is in charge of getting the head to the right spot and he has to run through the entire city. And this shit is just fucking everywhere. It's fucking amazing. I love this show. It's so much fun. It's great.
Dude, right on. I'm glad you're having a fun time with it.
Really liking the show, yeah.
Next up, Black Clover, made by Studio Pierrot, and they're the ones that do Naruto.
Yeah, Boruto's dad or whatever.
Yeah, everyone knows Boruto's dad, Shippuden. Anyways, it's based off of a manga, and it's been announced that this is going to be 51 episodes, and I was super worried that this might go on forever like Naruto, and it might be more difficult for people to access in the future and whatnot. So I was, first off, happy to get in on the ground level. Second off, happy to know that I won't have to watch this show for a billion years, because I feel like 50 episodes is a pretty good amount.
Solid, yeah.
Like
even like your Hunter x Hunter, that's still a lot,
Too much for me, but it was fun.
But especially now that we can keep on track with it from the very beginning, super great. But yeah, this is essentially one of it's a shonen, right? Like it's geared towards like young adults. Yeah, it's fighting and stuff. It's kind of cool because our main characters are magic users, And I feel like this season we've had a lot of magic. I think this one does it the best. I really like the magic that they have in this show. We have two main characters. They're both orphans that were like dropped off at this orphanage, and they're raised by this priest and this sister, and we don't know nothing about them except that one of the orphans super good at magic, he's
good at everything. He's
super great,
man.
super cool dude. Other guy, little tiny twerp, super buff, he works out all the time, has no magic,
and he's so fucking annoying.
He's crazy obnoxious, and that's perfect because that's the shonen way. That's your main character right there.
And it's one of the things where I'm like, I think the show knows what it's doing because it had other characters that are like, holy fuck, he's annoying.
Yeah.
So it was something where I was like, I can relate. Cool.
I agree. Yeah, fuck this guy. No, I totally agree. What I don't, because I've dealt with watching a lot of these type of animes, like the like annoying part I get over because I know eventually they grow up and they become different. Exactly. You know, what I don't like is his voice. His voice, like when he yells,
he goes like, ah,
like when he yells is like, that's what, like, oh my god, it's like nails on chalkboard. That shit drives me nuts. And nails on chalkboard don't even fucking bother me. His voice yelling like that, really fucking hard to get over. But yeah, it's essentially about these two guys, and they want to become. They're in this world where like. There's, magic is an abundant thing. Almost everybody has magic. It's kind of surprising that this character doesn't have magic, and they want to be. They're trying to be the Wizard King.
The Wizard King, which is the reason that I want to watch the show because they have a fucking Wizard King in this universe.
And they have like Wizard Knights or whatever.
Yeah.
Essentially, like there's a demon that like was destroying the world, and this Wizard King showed up with his grimoire, which is a book, which and it had 4-leaf clover on it, which is almost everything. The kingdom is a clover kingdom, and the 4-leaf clover represents luck. And he's able to destroy this demon, and then he becomes the first Wizard King. And then from then on out, like Wizard Kings, like it's just like it's a title that's passed down, and people earn it. And there's they help the king or whatever. So we see the characters acquire their grimoire, and the character that's super good at everything gets a 4-leaf clover. And
they're like, holy shit, this guy is going to be the next Wizard King. He's great. He's the perfect man.
I think it's funny because like people are getting books, and some people have thin books or big books. This one book has like a guy has a book like the size like of a pamphlet. Like it's tiny, and his book this guy's 4-leaf clover book is like golden and it's glowing and it's like beautiful.
Fucking awesome.
Everybody around him like sees what's going on. They're like, holy shit. And then he grabs it and he just announces like, I'm going to become the next Wizard King. And everybody's just like, woo! Yeah,
fuck yeah, dude.
Because what the real goal for a lot of people there is like, I'm gonna become a wizard knight. That's the highest achievement that they can even fathom. And they're just like, no one from that region has ever become a wizard knight, let alone a wizard king.
Right.
So seeing a 4-leaf clover, they're just like, you know what, this guy might do it. And then our main character puts up his hands to get a grimoire, doesn't get one.
Nothing
People
happens.
laugh at him. It's super sad. But by the end of the episode, he starts showing his tenacity. His buddy gets helped, gets trapped, and tries to save him. And he acquires a grimoire. It's a black one. It has 5 leaves. It's a 5-leaf clover on it. It's really gross looking. There's this nasty looking shadow behind him. A big ass sword shows up, and that's the end of the first episode. And honestly, super pumped for like what continues. I think
the whole first episode, I was like, this show's like okay. The main character's annoying. I don't like his voice. Like kept going, and then by the end of it, I was like, magic's kind of cool. And then once he got his grimoire and he got the giant fucking sword and it seemed evil and shit, I was like,
whoa,
yeah, I'm fucking down for this shit.
I can watch this. Yeah.
So as long as the show keeps up with that kind of pacing, where it's like really cool stuff starts happening, and then you get more and more into it, I'm down. But I'm kind of on the fence about this based off of the first episode. And I know you watched more.
I think I'm 3 deep. I think there's 3 out. The second one is a backstory about the relationship between the two friends because, you were saying like, oh, we're rivals or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we get to see where that came from because, they grew up together. Yeah. Essentially, they should be they're best friends.
Best bros, but they're also rivals.
But now we see why they're rivals. And it's like, it's pretty cool. I like the relationship between the two of them because they're both trying to achieve the same goal. And they're not going to let the other one like slow down, like, you want to be it, I want to be it, let's figure this, we're both gonna have to earn it. And I really like it. So that's the second episode. Third episode is I think they're going to the city to I think become the try to become knights or whatever.
Sure.
I think that's 2 or 3, I don't know, but
I'm excited about it.
I like this show. I'm gonna keep watching it.
Nice, me too. I'm pretty excited. Next up, we're going to talk about Blend S, made by A1 Pictures, and it's based off of a manga. And let me tell you about a little show called Working. This is just Working, but it's different. So the main character is this nice-ass girl, and she's like, I need a job. So guess what? She gets a fucking job, but she gets a job at this place where she has to, be a bitch. Like a real mean person. Just like calling people scum. Yeah, it's her job to be a bitch. And yeah, she's working at a restaurant and she's just like, what are you guys doing here? And I'm like, a table for 2, please. And she's like,
but she's not a bitch in real life.
No, she's like super sweet. And then she goes over and like seats them and she's just like, I'll be back, and comes back. And then they're ready to order or whatever. And she's like, well, and there's like, oh, I'll have this. And it's like, you don't get anything. You're a piece of shit. And they're like, oh my God, yes, please. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They like being harassed though. Okay.
They love it. And then other people have different roles where they play like little girl or whatever, but really it's like a woman who's 30 and she's just like, ugh, this fucking job. So like all of them are doing different things than what they normally would, when it's just like, why wouldn't she just be that? And why wouldn't she just be that? But I don't know. It's working out, and it's pretty goofy. The manager guy, he has that trope where he always gets a bloody nose if shit happens.
Oh yeah.
But it's more similar to All Might in how it's just constantly fucking exploding with blood, and All Might, you know how he talks and he's just like shooting blood out suddenly. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, it's more similar to that, where instead of it like always being like a super adorable situation, it's like, or not adorable, I guess, like sexy or whatever the fuck it wants to be. But in his case, it's like something adorable happens and he's getting excited because he's like, this girl's perfect for the job or whatever. And in reality, anything that excites him doesn't need to be sexual arousal at all.
Makes him bleed.
Yeah, it makes him like fucking explode out of the nose. And I don't know, that's kind of fun. Overall, not for me. Didn't like it. The animation's good. Overall, everything is good. Not for me though.
I wanted to say something real quick. I forgot. I think Grimoire, not Grimoire, fucking Black Clover's animation is great. I like it when they do this thing where like they'll have slow-mos and they'll show like clips of like black and white animation. I know if we got that in the first episode,
so.
But in the second episode it definitely comes back up. It's really cool. Anyways,
nice.
Let's go. Let's keep going on. Let's try to finish this up.
Konohana Kitan, made by Lerch. It's based off of a manga. And if you remember Lerch, they do all that dark shit. They do that good. They get us some magical girl raising project. They get us a little bit of Kino's Journey.
You know what they should have gone? They should have gone fucking King's Game is what they should have gotten.
They should have, but instead they got Konohana Kitan, which is a great show about fox girls running a spa.
Oh no. Oh man.
Honestly, it was pretty good. It's just a slice of life show. Nothing really special happens. Just a bunch of fox girls running a spa, and it reminds me a lot of Spirited Away in that, like, you know, it's not trying to be like cute fox girls running a spa. They're so cute. Look at how cute they are. It's just like, you know, learning lessons. Like there's a big old fluffy man who comes in, and then, you know, when he takes a bath, he just looks like a freaky skinny dude. But then afterwards, he's big and fluffy again. He's teaching lessons and having a fun time and just joking. And the main character like is following along some other girl that she doesn't like talk to people, and she doesn't really relate to them or anything. And she's just following her. She's like, why are we just like leaving the spa? Like, what the fuck are we doing? The bathhouse is that way. And then they go off into the woods and they're just going on this little adventure together where they're just like hanging out and having a good time and laying down in the grass underneath the tree, and everything's beautiful. And then one of them makes like, the girl who is teaching her makes like a little crown of flowers for her, and they like share food for lunch, and they're just hanging out. She's like, that was really great. And then they go back to work, and she's like, well, that was fun. She's like, yeah, I mean, that's what I do for my lunch. She didn't even realize it was like a lunch break or anything. She's like, yeah, I was just having a good ass time. And then afterwards she was like, yeah, I really, really liked working with her. And the girl who had already worked there was like, she liked working with me? Nobody likes me. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of sweet. That's fun. Like, it's whatever. And it's just like a sweet, cozy little time. If you're looking for that comfortable show where you don't have to try to watch, and it's just like good things are going to happen. The characters are very nice. You're going to get some like good lessons about, you know, just appreciating life. This is that kind of a show. And it looks fucking great.
Nice. Let's wrap it up, yeah?
I think that we should definitely end with a big old bang. The Ancient Magus Bride, made by Wit Studio, who's done things like Attack on Titan, and it's based off of manga. This is a show that you might have had some feelings about beforehand, right?
I actually remember seeing the clip of this. You weren't even too jazzed about it when I was like, oh, we should. And you're like, yeah, it's fine.
I was like, you know what, I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah, because what we saw was like some OVAs, like it was a 3-part miniseries or something like that. And I liked it. I was interested in it. And then it got announced to be a show. I was like, cool, this sounds great. I actually didn't get around to watching this, which is like, when I was looking through the script, I was like, fuck, that like one show I really wanted to see, didn't see it. But why don't you you watched the episode, right?
Hell yeah, so, it's fucking cool.
So from what I gather, it's just about a girl who like can see spirits or some sorts, right? Or magical stuff.
Yeah, she has some magic to her, but essentially she she is caught up in this magical world where she doesn't really fit in, but she's kind of learning things, and the things around her are learning from her.
Yeah,
too.
and she's being trained by this like big old mage guy with the big old like skull head or whatever.
Yeah,
and they're also engaged to be married, which is super sweet.
And he's like the highest ranked wizard
of all time.
He's just like a big old magic man that literally everybody respects.
He's a super cool looking dude. What I really liked about the show originally was the designs for everything.
Yeah,
like
really cool.
him, the girl, even they had a, I don't know if they still have, but they had this guy that was a dog who would like turn into a human.
You didn't watch the first episode of this?
No, I didn't. I said I missed it. I just remember seeing what I saw.
Oh shit!
So I can't believe I forgot me seeing this first episode.
Yeah, there is some really great shit. So it kind of starts out in this lab of some other girl, and she's doing some magic shit. Essentially, she's gathering all these items, and she has this really cool looking spirit next to her that's like a fairy, but it also looks like it's a mermaid, but it's not, but it's like a really fucking cool fish person. And they're gathering some shit together, and then they wrap it all up, put this magic spell on it.
Make it to like a bird, right? Or whatever.
Yeah,
it makes flies away.
Like, yeah.
I remember seeing that.
This little like robotic bird. And so it turns into like a real crow raven type thing, and it's sent over to the little like home of the magus and the bride and the dog and this house spirit.
And it must be the episode I saw, because I remember seeing that. And like, you know, she goes through the rooms, and she's like showing, like cleaning the books or whatever. And yeah, that's a good episode.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
Well, this is the first episode. Yeah,
nice.
So, yeah, and then, you know, we get to see kind of the interaction of everything. The dog guy is great. You know, he's excited about being a part of something, because apparently he's like more of a loner type guy. And then the house spirit's just like happy. I don't know. She doesn't have much going on. The mage wants all the books and stuff that got delivered. He wants them to be used so that the girl who's living there, who's not super magic, can learn a bunch of magic, but they're like super advanced books. So he's like slowly teaching her how to do things and everything. And the world is just amazing. The character designs are great. Every part of it is just fantastic.
Yeah, I really like the show. I can't wait to see more of it. And you know what, Trip? I think that's the 2017
fall anime preview.
Fall anime preview. That's all of it, man.
Yeah.
Shows that for sure want to watch. Kino's Journey. Definitely want to keep doing the Zodiac Wars.
Yep.
I want to catch up on this Ancient Magi's Bride or whatever. Just Because was fun. The girls with the
Girls Trip.
Girls Trip is fun.
That's
the last something. Just, you know, the girls that are like on a fucking tank or whatever.
Yeah. Girls Last Tour.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Girls Trip.
Girls Last Tour. There's a lot of shows that I'm going to try to keep watching. There's shows that I'm for sure dropping. There's shows that I missed that you watched that I'm going to check out. But yeah, all in all, pretty stoked with this season.
Yeah, I would say the Ancient Magus Bride, super excited about that. Going to keep watching it. Going to keep watching Black Clover, Zodiac War. I'm going to keep watching Kino's Journey. I'm going to check out 2-Car a little bit more, because I'm interested in how the racing stuff works. As a comfortable show, I'm going to keep watching Anime Guitaris. I think it's pretty damn good. I'm going to watch some more Recovery of an MMO Junkie. And these are all just things that are on Crunchyroll. So that's like a lot of stuff on Crunchyroll. And then only a couple of shows on Amazon Strike, but they're good shows. So Just Because and Girls Last Tour, I'm going to keep watching those guys. Cool. And every once in a while, maybe I'll check out Himouto Umaru-Chan R. And maybe I'll check out Inuyashiki Last Hero. Lots of fucking shows this season, right?
So that's the episode, guys. It was a long one. That usually happens when we have to do these previews and these wrap-ups. That's what happens. It's fine. We get to have a lot of fun talking for a bit. Now we don't get to see each other for days, which is great. So if you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTalks.com. Super sweet person to work with. If you like our music, hit up Tom Nasser. It's Nasser NASR. You know, he makes music. He's on SoundCloud. He's on YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
People can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same goes for the Instagram account. We have the Instant Ramen Podcast. You could also hit us up on Twitter. Send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Don't Fit.
Shoot us an email. Say, hey, you guys are doing great. Or, hey, you guys are shit. Or, nice. Hey, you should watch Monster. Or like whatever other anime that we have to watch. By sending us an email at instantRamenPodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and check out our kick-ass blog that we constantly update every single day. Juan's never made a post. He's a piece of shit. It's instarompodcast.blogspot.com. And you could also check me out whenever I do things on Twitch, twitch.tv/Crispather.
Yep. Those are all the things. Hey, next week we're going to try to be watching, what is it? A Silent Voice?
A Silent Voice.
Yeah.
Check your theater's local listings, see if it's playing at all. I don't know if this episode is going to be out in time, but there are a lot of theaters that are currently going to be airing it on the 23rd and the 25th, some on the 21st. So check that shit out.
Yeah, so that's what's next week's episode is going to be. You're going to review that. I've been waiting to see that for a while now. I know you have too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be fun. That's the show. Thanks for listening. This is Bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water. I'm going to Disneyland, man.
Oh, good for you. Yeah. Don't forget, I want a popsicle, a lollipop.
Yeah, a lollipop. Cool. It's going to be great.
Nice.
It's all Halloween-y. I don't know what I'm going to be for Halloween. Do you know?
What I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be Cosmo and Wanda.
Oh, you're being Cosmo and Wanda. All right.
Wanda.
Yeah.
Sierra's going to be Cosmo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'll be the baby.
Poof.
Yeah.